real. Let's review. What's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go. That's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, Nat Chins, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Film Guide Network, brought to you by our friends over at Hard Rock Bet. A little delayed reaction from yours truly. I don't know why I didn't hear the click today.
I think his squeaky chair covered the noise.
Oh, we got to put some WD-40 on that chair. We got to do something, a little spray, a little something.
It's getting louder by the week.
Maybe just get you a new one. Budget's going up. Well, I'll be all right.
I don't need to, dude.
I like you. You're frugal with the boss's money. I like this. Go ahead.
Inflation is how you stay poor.
That a boy. I like that. We got a loaded show for you guys tonight, as we always do. We've got news to talk tonight. Lots of news to talk tonight. We got TROs galore.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that Cody Campbell guy was onto something with this Save College Sports Act.
Maybe.
Hot take?
Maybe.
We'll get to it. We got ACC win totals tonight on the show. All odds brought to you by our friends over at Hard Rock Bet, of course. And obviously, it's Wednesday. So we've got What If Wednesday on tonight's broadcast as well. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're telling a friend, all that good stuff. Support the show. Make sure you're supporting the show. Chat's already hit on it. Yes, new merch is available.
That's right.
Merch link in the description of the video. We got all kinds of stuff. We got new hats. We got some dog mentality shirts. We got all kinds of stuff for you, especially for you local folks. And we got some national stuff that you might see me wear at some point soon. We got all kinds of good stuff. But we got some news to talk about. Boys, a plethora of TROs have been granted to football players to come back to college football. Xavier Harris, defensive lineman from Ole Miss, entered the transfer portal right before the show because that was also added on.
Yep.
You can also go wherever you want now, too, because roster spots are spoken for. So they're just suing the NCAA, threatening to sue them, sending a temporary restraining order. Courts are approving it left and right. I saw north of like 60 names on this TRO list of guys that have been granted extra years of eligibility. And look, I'm okay. I'm completely okay if you were in the midst of sending your resumes to the local car insurance company to go get a real job, and you're like, you know what? They're going to let me play another year of college football. I'll take that NIL money to go back to college football. Where I'm clutching pearls and being like, whoa, as the title and the description of the graphics show today, we've completely lost the plot when we got guys like Jack Pyburn, who had 2 sacks in an NFL preseason game the other night. Granted, it was against the Jets. 2 sacks in an NFL preseason game being like, hey, GM, let me get a meeting, dog. I'm trying to go back to college. I know I am currently actively on an NFL roster, and I know I'm fighting and scrapping and clawing to maybe make this forever, job a thing right here in the NFL Sunday League. But, I sure would like to go back to college for another year. I think we've completely lost the plot when that's what we got going on. When we got guys bypassing opportunities to compete for NFL roster spots to go back to college. I never thought we would get to this point. In fact, in my day, when I was growing up in college football, the big panic button was guys leaving too soon. Everybody's like, oh, this isn't the college football. I remember we got guys leaving after 3 years. What happened to sticking around and staying for 4? Remember the old years where guys would be like, for the next 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
Now we're like, for the next million years, I'm going to play college football at insert 7 different schools. Which, by the way, if Jack Pyburn does come back to school, I don't think he's going to go to LSU. He's probably going to enter the transfer portal, and he'll go from the Florida Gators to the LSU Tigers to the Tampa Bay Bucks to a team near you. I mean, what are we doing, guys?
I mean, it's an issue, in my opinion, when the mecca of football, that being the NFL, no longer feels like the ultimate goal. Because, like, it used to feel like when you got to the NFL, that was, all right, I've made it. Like, this was my dream as a kid. This is what I strived and worked for my entire life, was to make it to this point. And now we have players that make it to that point, are fighting for a roster spot at the very least at the NFL level, are playing in preseason games, repping an NFL organization in games, and saying, this isn't good enough for me, I'm going to go back to college. That, to me, is a problem.
Jay, well, I don't know if it's no longer the ultimate goal. I think that there are just so many other attainable goals now. Like 20 years ago, growing up, your dream was, say, I want to go to the Florida Gators or I want to go to the Georgia Bulldogs. Like my dream is to go to that school and play there, even if I don't get on the roster. Now a lot of these attainable goals are, well, yeah, I can go here, but I can also get paid X number of dollars to go elsewhere. Yeah, the NFL is still the ultimate goal for a lot of people, but the more attainable goal is like, I'm guaranteed a roster spot somewhere in college where I'll make six figures. I might be getting cut next week in the NFL. I think that's where things are changing now, is the college football has become such an attainable goal for these guys.
Well, aren't we? I think we're diminishing the opportunities that we're actually going to make an NFL roster.
Certainly.
After this.
Certainly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't make it now in your youngest, best version of yourself, do you think another seventh year of college football is magically going to give you the ability to do so? Again, I don't have problems with Xavier Harris, an undrafted guy that's playing out of position at 6'7", should be an offensive tackle, but maintains the willingness to want to play defensive tackle. Have no problems with Cole Spear. Have no problems with the kids at Indiana that did get picked up by NFL teams. Have no problems with those. You only get to play football for so long. It is so mind-boggling to me to read articles today where the tight end that's from Ole Miss that's currently in a Cleveland Browns camp is actively petitioning to get out of his NFL contract to go back to college. That I never thought we would get to this point. And look, I love college football. We dedicate our lives to college football. But you have an opportunity to make an NFL roster and you're like, I'd rather take $300,000 to go back to Ole Miss. Like that's crazy to me.
Well, and I mean, we are aware too of like current situations that NFL executives and NFL staff members are battling a little bit right now, because when we were at the NFL Combine, they were discussing with us about, I mean, we were signing guys that are like, I'm taking a pay cut to come play with you. I was making twice the amount of money at college that you were about to pay me. And now that's kind of showing up a little bit here, in my opinion, of that problem.
I guess if anything, this is going to force the NFL to raise their league minimum.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
But isn't this
You know
just
what?
one year thing?
That's who's going to save college sports. That's who's going to save college football in particular, the NFL.
The
NFL is going to get sick of this.
Yeah.
And they're going to come down here and go like, hey, y'all are messing up our minor league system. Y'all need to put some rules into place. Y'all need to get this thing under wraps and start setting salary caps because y'all are messing up our bag. Like, the NFL is such a massive business. I don't think they're going to allow college football decision makers to ruin their product. And you're right. We were in meetings in Indianapolis where the guy's like, man, we pull up a dude's draft card the other day. He's 25 years old. And I had to be the one to raise my hand and be like, hey, guys, when he gets to his second contract, he's going to be damn near 30, and we're not even going to know if we want him.
Right.
Because he might have already aged out of his career. So the other thing about these guys coming back is like, dude, you're a ticking time bomb for retirement. That's what you are in football. You're a ticking time bomb. You only have so many snaps. And we are just cutting those years of service off for NIL money. And I've from the start of name, image, and likeness coming into the sport, we have always held on to this idea that NFL over NIL, like NFL money is life, right? Like there's no NCAA retirement fund, buddy. Like you're going to get this cash, which is what it is. You're going to get a year's worth of cash, and that's it. You spend 3.5 years in the NFL, you get cash for life. You get lots of cash for life in NFL retirement.
Well, also too, though, the other problem is it's not college football decision makers necessarily ruining the sport, because this ruling of players getting extra
TROs.
year, TROs, it's not people that are involved in college football. It's a lawyer in Colorado or a judge in Colorado granting this to happen, and now it's impacting college football. So that's the other thing is the NFL can come to college football decision makers and say, hey, you're ruining the sport, and the NCAA will say, well, we're trying to implement things, but it's not us. That's not like we just don't have power right now because these TROs exist. So it's hard to even get mad at college football because it really has nothing to do with them almost.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to take some third party, whether that's the government or someone else stepping in.
You said it's not college football decision makers.
They did have their chance to get
they
things
did.
right.
It's the Big Ten and the SEC. They drugged their feet on the Save College Sports Act. That's why it didn't get voted on. That's why they didn't have enough time to vote on that. In my opinion, them taking so long to actually approve or get changes into that Save College Sports Act proved to me that they didn't want it passed, and they drugged their feet, and now they can't vote on it.
Yeah, and I think also like the Save College Sports Act wasn't necessarily like the only thing that was going to fix college. Like we all agree collectively, like, yeah, it's probably better than the alternative, but there's a lot of flaws within the Save College Sports Act alone.
Correct, but it was going to fix this issue.
Certainly,
it was going to address this issue. No, like you can't sign an NFL contract under the Save College Sports Act and come back to NFL or college football.
Certainly, this
would have been done. 5 to play 5, it would have been done. All these things would have been, or not all of them. You're right. There were some issues with the Save College Sports Act, but I think we at least need something, even if it's flawed, because right now all we have is flaws. All we have is flaws in what is not a system. A system implicates that there are rules and regulations. We don't have that right now. Mm-hmm. We have nothing other than a local county court judge being like, temporary restraining order. Which, by the way, why can't the NCAA come back and win some of these?
Don't know.
It's just a temporary restraining order. It just pushes the lawsuit date down. Why aren't they fighting these things?
I mean, I think they like temporary restraining orders are only like, a year and a half into the thing. Like,
correct.
I don't know. I mean, that might be what deters people from doing this. Like, if the NCAA ends up winning, the Indiana case, for example, and they come out guns a-blazing and just punish Indiana to the ground, maybe we stop seeing these TROs because they go, oh, snap, we don't want to have to deal with this in 4 to 5 years. I don't think that's going to end up happening, but that seems like the only way to deter these TROs right now.
All right, there was some other news today reported by Chris Slow of On3, and it's not news to South Carolina fans, so if you're a Gamecock fan, welcome. We will be having a Lenora Sellers film study coming out pretty soon. Little spoiler alert there. But it was announced today or reported today by Chris Lowe that Dylan Stewart, the 5-star edge rusher and projected first-round draft pick, and Ja'Carrius Peaks, the let's call it $1 million addition at the tackle position, are both going to be unavailable for their opening series or opening season game against Kent State. Just to read the schedule for you guys: Kent State, Towson, Mississippi State, and then they go on the road to Alabama. That's their first 4. Dylan Stewart hasn't done anything football related since apparently he broke his back last year. Oof. You know he played with a broken back?
I did not know that.
South Carolina fans notified me of this when I tweeted out some the Blake Miller kid. Mm-hmm. I tweeted out some clips of him, and they're like, why are you showing us clips of him dogging Dylan Stewart when Dylan Stewart had a broken back? That's a little wild to be playing a young man with a broken back. I think they found that out later on after the year. Pain tolerance kind of high right there for that kid. That's insane. But yeah, apparently recovering from a broken back, the only recovery plan is time off, which is not going to play, not going to practice. The report I saw said that Dylan Stewart was out at practice in street clothes and walked into the weight room facility immediately as the media got out there. Basically, he walked off with a trainer over into the indoor weightlifting facility. Peaks hasn't done anything football related since he got hurt playing 3-on-3 basketball at their meet and greet. Like, let's get to know each other by playing 3-on-3 hoops. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I start to wonder how much. And obviously, Ja'Carrius Peaks is a different situation, but a guy like Dylan Stewart, where you feel like the majority of your money is made. There was a question heading into last offseason, like, is he going to enter the transfer portal? Is he going to not be a South Carolina Gamecock? I wouldn't be surprised if there were some behind closed doors negotiations of like, yeah, listen, I'll come back to South Carolina. It's a huge PR win for you, Shane Beamer, and the team. I'll do my part when I can, but at the same point, like, I'm not going to be fully integrate into this. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to make sure that I'm taking care of my investment for the NFL.
I mean,
He would not be the first star edge rusher at South Carolina to do something like that.
No, he would not be. There were plenty of times.
Jadeveon Clowney basically opted out of his last year of college football.
Well, there were.
It's pretty well reported.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were a lot of times where it's like,
speculated.
"Hey, coach, can't go today. Not feeling it."
Yeah.
well, and if it's something as touchy as a back injury, and I know what's on the horizon for me at the NFL level, not to say that he has the right to not play games if he's healthy, but I would also be kind of hesitant to get back out there and maybe re-aggravate that injury, because last thing I want to do if I'm Dylan Stewart is going to the pre-draft process with back issues.
Correct.
Like, that'd be a massive red flag for someone at his position.
Should also be worth noting, I don't believe Josiah Thompson's going to play at all this year. I think he had knee surgery as well. So
boy.
they're in some hot water injury-wise. Here's my take on it. I know both of these guys are really experienced football players. Peaks played a bunch of football in the ACC. Dylan Stewart's a known commodity. We know what he is when he is healthy. I just don't love the idea of, hey, don't do anything football related since December and then roll out there in SEC play. Just go play 9 of them in a row and then end it with South Carolina. I don't love that.
No,
I don't care how good you are. I don't care how great of a football talent you are. I don't care how much football you have played. You kind of have to practice this sport. I think Matt Campbell said it best. We have to callous the body. We have to get prepared for a season's long worth of strain on our body. And if we don't practice, we are more than likely to re-injure whatever we have got going on. In my opinion, that's my opinion on football. I think, shocker, you kind of got to practice football before you go play football. That's why about, 15 years ago, we created this thing called an acclimation period, where you have to practice for a couple days in helmets and then go out there in shells. And then after about 5 days of practice, you can actually put pads on. That's just to put the pads on. And now the plan, and South Carolina fans I saw on the internet today were just like, this has been a known thing. We're just going to roll them out for SEC play, save them for SEC play. This ain't hoops, bro. This is a contact physical sport that we have to be prepared for physically. And I even if he's on a snap count, even if they're on a rep count, like it still would bother me if I had anything to do with those two players personally. Like, I would be really, really nervous about the idea that literally since December, we're not going to play any football. We're not going to do anything. And then we're just going to roll out there and get ready to go take 80 snaps against a Mississippi State offense that's going to run it 45 times. Like, I don't love that idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely tons of risks that come with it. So I understand the worries there, and I agree with them. So we'll see what happens. I hope everything turns out well for Shane Beamer in South Carolina.
Let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Hard Rock Bet. We'll be back after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor over at Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Rivalries, trash talk, and bragging rights are all a part of the game of college football that we all love so much. But there's one thing college football fans can all agree on. Hard Rock Bet is easy, safe, and trusted with thousands of 5-star reviews. You can back your favorite football team all season long from the couch, hanging out at the tailgate, or even inside the stadium, especially for our friends down there in the state of Florida. Hard Rock Bet knows college football in Florida. They're Florida's only legal betting app on college football. But you don't have to live in the state of Florida to join the party Hard Rock Bet's got going on. They're also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, Colorado, and Michigan, with more states on the way. So if you don't have the Hard Rock Bet app yet, head over to hardrock.bet/filmguy. That's hardrock.bet/filmguy. Get the party started on Hard Rock Bet today. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Please gamble responsibly. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we haven't done a lot of off-season talk because the season's almost here.
Thank God.
I think this might be our last off-season topic of the year.
That would be fantastic.
I would hope so.
We have college football next week.
We do. Oh. But this is a good off-season topic, right?
It's a good way to close.
It's a good way to close the end of the off-season, which is best and worst public relations jobs of the off-season. I'll start with an absolute layup. I got pocket aces right here, boys.
Let's hear them.
Pocket aces with another bullet hitting the river. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is
late
by far
submission.
the worst public relations nightmare of the entire offseason. That guy's getting clowned by everybody.
Everyone.
Boys, I saw a National Park Service tweet out a joke about Jaden Daniels. If Leslie Knope is cooking you, you're done. You're absolutely done. Jaden Daniels, absolutely the biggest loser in terms of public relations this offseason.
If you single-handedly turn a number into a meme just by yourself and because of what all that has transpired with that, that's impressive. Like one singular number. I'll fix it.
I don't know what is it the tinfoil hat too heavy?
No, I think it just gets bumped.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that had none of this happened, like for the rest of Jaden Daniels' life, LSU fans would have remembered him as a great quarterback, had a great season, a Heisman Trophy winner, would have been in great regards with the LSU fan base. And now that is completely tainted for a long, long, long time, probably. Like, it would take a miraculous act by him to, like, turn it back over.
We got federal government accounts cooking this man.
Yeah.
It's insane. I haven't seen a meme take off like this in a fat minute.
Yeah.
From a player's perspective, like one guy getting all the smoke. Everyone claims it's his mom. Do you think it was his mom that did this?
I would have to believe there's probably people involved in his team. I don't think Jaden Daniels was out here just like.
Don't you think his mom's the captain of his team?
Probably. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus or make assumptions. I don't know the ins and outs of his, his team and his network, but from the videos I've seen and from other memes, his mom seems to have a pretty large influence as to what goes on around that camp. So it could be. I don't know. Either way, it's very poorly mishandled.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have a group of people, or like a one category that I'm going to place good PR in, like who had the best PR of the offseason. And this just boils down to the fact that nobody was talking about you. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good PR for your football program. And there's three candidates I'm going to nominate here. That would be Shane Beamer. That would be James Franklin. And that would be the Miami Hurricanes. I think it would have been so easy for Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes to spend this entire offseason throwing it in the face of everybody that they were in a national title game this past year, that the U is back, they're on top of college football, and just create a lot of annoyance amongst college football fans, like for them to wane very thin quickly on college football fans after just one national title appearance in quite some time. Instead, I feel like they just kind of kept quiet. Now, you can talk about what they did on the recruiting trail, and people might get frustrated at that, but as far as a operations standpoint of what they said in front of a microphone and what they put out in front of the media, I think that was a good PR job. James Franklin just laid low, got to Virginia Tech, and that was it. Like, he's the head coach. Haven't heard much about him since. Haven't heard much about the Virginia Tech football program. I think that's a win. Shane Beamer, going into last year, after almost making a college football playoff, it seemed like people couldn't talk about Lenore Sellers and the South Carolina Gamecocks enough. That includes Shane Beamer, and it ultimately failed upon them. I'm not going to say that's why, because they were talking about themselves. That's why they ultimately had the season that they did last year, but kept quiet this year, kind of stayed out of the news. That's a good thing.
The idea that Miami didn't get any smoke for the tampering with Darian Mensah is like, or the alleged tampering or potential tampering.
Yeah.
There's also a win by Manny Diaz for not creating a spectacle about that. I'm pretty sure the ACC commissioner probably really appreciated that.
Yeah.
He basically was like, hey, we can't prove anything, so we can't complain about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo Swinney believed that he could prove it, so he did complain about it.
I mean, supposedly there's an investigation, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to take 19 years to complete.
We'll see.
I mean, Luke Farrelly will retire and have grandchildren by the time that NCAA investigation concludes.
Unfortunately.
Pete Golding will either be already inducted into the Coaches Hall of Fame or coaching middle school football somewhere by the time that one's done. But no, I thought the idea that Miami story was like, just, look at like what we do. Look at the addition at quarterback that they have, as opposed to all the other nonsense that normally comes with this type of stuff. That's a win, a massive win PR-wise. What do you got, Kirk?
It's funny that we just talked about Pete Golding and, the supposed tampering that was going on there with Luke Farrelly, because for as much shady stuff that has been going around the Ole Miss program this offseason, I feel like Pete Golding is someone who's come out on the other side of it seeming even more likable than when he went into it. I mean, we talked about it. He commanded the room at SEC Media Days. And since then and before that, he hadn't really been in the public eye. He hadn't really said anything to put his foot in his mouth. Whereas, Lane Kiffin's got some certain things where he's talking about Baton Rouge versus Oxford and all that stuff. Pete Golding has certainly done a really good PR job this offseason, despite the fact that his team may or may not be.
I have a best and a worst combined. I know that's what we're doing, but the best offseason PR job was done by Tony Petitti. The worst PR job was done by Greg Sankey.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about this during SEC Media Weeks, followed up with Big Ten Media Days. Greg Sankey took all the darts for all of that. We'll take our ball and go home stuff. We'll just go create our own league. When in reality, that's the sentiment from the Big Ten and the SEC combined. But all the smoke got thrown towards Greg Sankey. None of it got thrown towards Tony Petitti. And I think that's because of how they handled that subject. Petitti did the commissioner speak where he just kind of bounced around it. And then Greg was like, no, it ain't a threat. That's a promise. And that, not verbatim, but it's paraphrasing what he did.
Yeah, I do want to say I feel like it was kind of blown out of proportion because the question was like, is this real? And he kind of goes into his like, yes, it's real. Let me explain what we're talking about. It did not do a good job at all. Bad PR job, certainly.
While talking constantly about transparency.
Yeah, it was not a good PR job at all. I do feel like that specific quote is getting a little bit miscontextualized by the media, so just want to put that out there.
I mean, I do think that
Sankey in your pocket.
I would love to have Greg Sankey in my pocket.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean,
guess.
I think the by far winner for worst PR is definitely Texas Tech.
Certainly.
I mean, that whole fiasco during the offseason was certainly, and that was the worst one by far. The only close second, Colorado strength and conditioning staff. Brooks, what else do you have?
Wait, what?
No, what else do you have?
Yeah, we don't have to.
You don't want to sit too long in that.
Don't
one?
think we have to.
I don't think we
What
need
else
to.
do you have?
I have one more. Oh no, I have two. Same kind of thing here. I loved everything that came out of Ryan Day's mouth this offseason.
Yeah.
Everything. I didn't feel like he said a single thing where I was like, I don't like that. I liked it all. I thought he was very transparent about the questions he had about his own roster. They also happen to coincide with the exact same things I have about his roster. He was very open and honest about how his quarterback needs to get more physically gifted, or at least take upon himself to get bigger, faster, and stronger. He was very open about the fact that they don't really know who wide receiver 3 through wide receiver 6 is. Was very open about how their offensive line needs to protect their quarterback at a higher rate. I didn't even hate his comment about the fact that he drives a fast Mercedes and was like, I go into my rooms and I tell these guys, hey, look, just because the car can go fast doesn't mean I drive it fast. I liked everything the dude said. On the other end of that, Sark probably should have stayed away from microphones for a while.
Oh, my God.
We talked about that a lot.
Sark
this
is also on my list for just like, dude, you did yourself and your team no favors this offseason. You did not come out more likable. You did not come out as something that other people would want to cheer for. It was sad to see, honestly. Not sad to see, but unfortunate. Just like, dude, just stop. Just please. Like, did you ever have that moment where, like, your siblings getting in trouble and they just keep arguing with your parents and you're like, bro?
No, I was the sibling.
Well, yeah, I'm sure your brother at that point was like, bro, just chill out. Just let it go. Like, that's how it felt every time Steve Sarkisian came to a mic. And then it was like, oh, I have to clarify what I said by, Parker Livingston. I have to clarify what I said about basket weaving at Ole Miss. It's like, bro, just take your losses and cut it off.
Mm-hmm. Which one was worse, by the way, the basket weaving or I cut football players at Texas?
I'm gonna say the I cut football players.
The I cut
one.
football, like basket weaving, is like you can at least say like tongue in cheek.
And again, it's because he named the players.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That
because
too.
he put it out there by name of the players that he cut on his roster, but then backtracked with Rich Eisen. So maybe he didn't, but
Apparently Arch had a bad day at their scrimmage the other day.
yeah.
Threw a bunch of picks. Didn't really have a hot day at the scrimmage. Sounding alarms? Are we sounding alarms?
Not over here.
Not over here.
Not from fall camp. I'm not going to be sounding alarms from any of that.
I don't sound alarms or give trophies away in fall camp.
Tell me he looked like Cooper Rush, then sound the alarms. Then it's time to sound the alarms, all right? Panic.
What a random
Leave the
callback.
fan base.
So it's okay, J-Will. Do they play this weekend?
It'll be all right. He's not gonna.
No.
you don't care anymore.
He's not gonna take meaningful snaps, dude.
It took one preseason.
No.
One preseason
Well,
game's like,
I do
hell,
know they play this weekend, but they're not playing the starters.
It's
So,
a
like,
one
I
preseason
definitely
game for
don't
Jay
care
with a
about this.
checkout.
They're not playing the starters. I definitely don't care.
You know a team that had a really good PR summer or off season?
Texas Tech.
No, bad, very bad. You are the most hated team at the end of the offseason. You told the college football world, 1, we are too good for a conference. 2, we are too good for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, America's bowl game. Everyone hated Notre Dame, and that is kind of washed over completely to the point where now people are like, yeah, Notre Dame's schedule's a cakewalk, but I'm really high on CJ Carr. I think they're a national championship contender. There's always going to be kind of a tension towards Notre Dame, but I feel like Notre Dame could be way more hated than they are right now.
Hell, it seemed like people even took Notre Dame's side on that Indiana thing because everybody thinks Indiana schedules a bunch of middle school teams.
Right. Like
So-
Notre Dame has had a
Which-
pretty good PR summer.
I thought the Signetti comments were valid. If you want to play us, and I think everybody should, every Power 4 school that actually has a top 25 roster should look at Notre Dame and say the same thing. If you want us to play you, you have to come here twice. We'll go there once. We'll put you on our schedule. You need us to put you on your schedule at this point. Your schedule is not tough enough, and you're constantly going to be seeking these out-of-conference games because you're not in a conference. You can come to us twice. And I think that would change some of this. Well, they probably still stay independent, but I was okay with it. I didn't think it was all that crazy for him to say that.
Yeah. All right, my final team that had a terrible PR.
We obviously have to talk about Texas Tech. Did anybody take them?
I threw Texas Tech out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Texas Tech, obviously. Texas Tech is the king of this, of like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you went from a team where it was like, cool Big 12 team, bought a lot of players in the portal last year, hope they do well, whatever, to hate them. Death penalty. I hope they never win another football game. We're not scheduling them ever. Like, you had SEC teams that have not played your football program in decades say, yeah, we're not scheduling them in softball, basketball, baseball. Like, they got, I've never seen that before. So, yeah, horrible PR job from Texas Tech. My final one. For the first time in history, for the first time in my lifetime at least, we had fans and people clamoring, saying, NCAA, please find some way to enforce rules. Please find some way to seem powerful, to bring some form of unity and any form of organization to college football. We need you right now. And the NCAA went out and was like, Iowa, come here. We're slapping you on the wrist for certain things. It was once again the most abusive power that the NCAA could have done. Instead of addressing any of the real problems that are going on in this sport, they went and picked on the little guys. They gave slaps on the wrist to the wrong types of people. The NCAA had a terrible PR job, aside from the fact that they got their asses kicked.
Didn't Iowa walk in there like this? Like, hey, go ahead and give it to me.
I still believe
Go ahead and put me in the cuffs.
I still believe my conspiracy theory on that.
Which is what?
They willingly did it. They were
Why?
like,
in hopes that they'd get somebody else?
We're going to be the ones to do this, to give you power, to let everybody know that you're out here actually slamming rules down. We're going to take the bullet here for everybody else in hopes that this stops. That was my conspiracy theory. I don't know that it's aging all that well, but I still somewhat believe in it. Now, I can believe in that and it be like their efforts be wrong. Like, it just didn't actually work out for them. But it was so weird to me that it was Iowa of all teams getting punished for this.
Self-reporting.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea of self-reporting nowadays is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't know
Like, why are you doing that?
The only reason you self-report is just be like, look what I'm doing. You can't do anything about it.
They tried to be the martyr.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I wouldn't die on any sword for the NCAA. Never.
No.
All right, should we do some win totals?
Let's do it.
Let's
do some win totals. We've been doing these a lot lately. And can they hear me over the swipe?
They sure can.
We've been doing a lot of these win totals lately. We did the SEC the other night. We did the Big Ten last night. Here we are tonight with the ACC, which I'm going to lead off by saying this. You have to pick 3 overs, 3 unders, and 3 do not touches. I would rather not touch the entire conference.
Yeah,
This is the hardest conference to pick win totals in because I think there is such parity and such a conglomerate of mid.
Can we rename the segment tonight Instead
what?
of ACC win totals, can we just name it? Who do you think's making the Cheez-It Bowl? Because that's essentially what you're predicting here. Because it's either are they going to go 6-6? Are they going to go 5-7? Like that is the line of demarcation here for majority of ACC teams. Is are they going to be bowl eligible?
I mean, the audience can see the win totals on the bottom of this. It's a whole bunch of 4 and 5 to 6.5. It's 4.5 wins to 6.5 wins. 90% of the conference is right there, and then there's Miami. So that's about what we got going on. Which, by the way, I will tell you right now, my favorite line in this entire segment isn't in this segment. It's an exclusive on Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook, which is the Miami odds to go 9-0 in conference play is plus 100 juice, which basically means can they beat Clemson? And I think they're gonna. So I like that one a ton. But let's do this segment right here. Start with overs. I've got the Louisville Cardinals at 7.5.
That was my first one, too.
Boys, did you know that Jeff Brom won 8.5 games on average his last 2 years at Purdue?
Mm-hmm.
He won 8.5 games per game or per season at Purdue the last 2 seasons, and has never. He's gone 9 wins, 10 wins in his 3 years at Louisville. 7.5, lock.
Yeah, I mean, there's
absolute lock.
Now, I will say the one difference for me here for Louisville heading into this season compared to others is I've had a little bit more belief in the quarterback position than I do this year.
So you loving up on Miller Moss, huh?
Not loving up on Miller Moss, but I at least knew what I was getting in Miller Moss.
Well, I know what I'm getting, which is the quarterback whisperer.
But I just don't know anything or know enough about Lincoln Kineholz.
The way I saw it is even if Louisville loses to all their ranked opponents on this schedule, that's only 2 losses. So that's and the 2 losses would be SMU and Ole Miss. So finding 3 other losses is really hard with this type of schedule. And it's not the heavy hitters of the ACC. It's a whole lot of NC State, Florida State, Stanford, North Carolina, and then Kentucky at the end of the year, which is a tough game. It's a out of conference in-state matchup.
Hasn't been the last 2 years.
And that's what I'm saying.
Brom has throttled the Wildcats the last 2 years.
I think the over is a pretty safe bet here. It's the
I'm
one
cool
I
with
feel most
Louisville.
confident.
I'm cool with Louisville. I liked Virginia Tech 6.5, and here's why. I gave them these wins: VMI, Old Dominion, Maryland, Boston College, Stanford, and Virginia. Virginia is probably the boldest one there to give them that one. Virginia is going to be a good football team this year. But that would also mean they only have to win one of these games: Miami, SMU, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Cal, or Pittsburgh.
That's fair.
I think it's fair to say that they could get Cal or Pittsburgh. And even if you want to take Virginia off that list, they got to beat both Cal and Pittsburgh. I think that's very doable for James Franklin in his first year.
You know, Jay, Will, you and me are on the same page as well because I have that exact over as well. I was kind of surprised that 7-5 is like hitting the over for the first year. That is going to be a really well-coached team, and despite the deficiencies that James Franklin had at Penn State and all that, one, they've already done some really impressive recruiting in the DMV. There's going to be a lot of juice around that program, and what better way to build momentum than to go against, ACC slop?
We're all believers in the Jelly Man, aren't we?
Steve and Jelly.
I like the Jelly Man. I don't know if I'm buying the Jelly Man.
Do it, Jonathan.
the Jelly Man. Taking on the Jelly Man.
Taking on the Jellies. Steve and Jelly back at Syracuse. I think Fran Brown's going to be a little less odorous this year than in previous seasons. 4.5. 4.5 wins?
look.
We're going to be taking some showers, baby.
I think people forget, was it Clemson or Georgia Tech that they were playing where Syracuse actually looked like, I think it was the Clemson game.
I was at that game. Yeah, they looked horrible.
Syracuse actually looked pretty put together when he was quarterback, and then he gets injured in that game, and it just goes to crap. Like, it was like, whoa, this Syracuse team is horrible right now. But when they had Steve Angeli out there, it actually looked like a formidable opponent.
Luckily, Syracuse had built such a lead in that game that it didn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, they looked pretty promising with Steve Angeli. So hopefully they can have a bounce back here into Fran Brown. I think that's a fair over to take. I didn't touch it, though.
Now, this one is called the Bobby Bump. You ready?
All right.
North Carolina 4.5.
Over?
Bobby Petrino bump. You're sleeping on it.
I took the under.
A little Bobby Petrino interim job?
Brooks, no.
Come on, man.
No,
I took the under on this one.
No, bro.
I think this is the first time we've had like a disagreement
No.
between overs.
I'm
and
just
unders.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
We
I'm
didn't
taking
even
it- I'm
know they
taking-
had a quarterback battle.
I know.
We had
I
no
know.
clue.
But it's Bobby Petrino. He's due to ransack Bill Belichick's first 6 games and then sneak up on somebody late in the year, scoring 44 points.
Hanging a bet on Bobby Petrino is a bold choice.
I'm just kidding. I'm taking NC State 6.5 because I'm a CJ Bailey guy.
I almost wanted to. They
look-
lost some really good
Kirby had him
players.
sneaky undefeated, so you better be locking this in for an over.
I said, am I crazy for looking at that schedule and thinking they could go undefeated? Then I was quickly reminded it's NC State. It's not. And
Y'all remember that time Grayson McCall transferred from Coastal Carolina and everybody was like, playoff?
Yeah, that was
Because he
weird.
was good 24 months ago in an option at Coastal Carolina.
And COVID.
during a COVID
during
season at
COVID. That was the craziest thing about that. There was a year of not good play after that at Coastal Carolina for Grayson. Because remember, he entered the portal and then returned to Coastal Carolina. And then the next year entered the portal again. NC State gave him buku bucks. And everybody's like, playoffs. Grayson McCall, baby. This guy's elite. Y'all remember what he did during COVID when we were all sitting on the couch trapped in our homes?
Yeah,
This guy's going to be great.
You know when people post like old highlights of a player when they sign him in free agency, like it's a player who's like on the end of their careers and it's like old highlights. It's like, did I just see Kevin Garnett on the ESPN runner? For Grayson McCall, it was, did I just see people with masks on the sideline?
Did I just
running
see teal turf? What is going on?
Really? That's what we're doing? That's what that felt like.
Is that Austin Eckler? What is going on?
Now I had for my over, I had Duke at 5.5.
Dude, we had the same exact overs, all
but
3.
I will say this is a pretty tough schedule. They got Illinois. They're
They
at
make
Illinois.
those in that conference?
Yeah, I said for Duke they do. They're
it
at
opens
Illinois.
tough.
They open with Tulane as well. Like we'll see how that looks like. I understand that's going to be a new staff and everything, some new players on the roster. They have Stanford and William and Mary, so there's 2 wins right there after a tough opening stretch. Then it's at Georgia Tech, North Carolina at home, at Virginia, Boston College at home, at NC State, at Miami versus Clemson. That 3-game stretch right there. Woof, that's tough. And then you close out with Wake Forest. I just feel like that Duke's good enough, I feel like, to be bowl eligible this year. That was more of my belief.
Yeah,
there.
and that is we've been on the same exact page for this entire segment so far of like looking at, they're going to start out probably 0-2 if you want to be a pessimist about it. I could see them getting a Tulane. I think Tulane's lost a lot, especially given the head coach, but I'm buying Manny Diaz finding a way to get that team to 6-6. I mean, for God's sakes, he found a way to get that team to an ACC championship last year. So I don't feel great about that one, but I took the over as well.
So we all like Louisville and Syracuse.
Yes.
I think it's easier to lock in Syracuse for 5 and 7 than it is to lock in Louisville for 8 and 4. Do y'all agree?
Yeah, I didn't have Syracuse on mine, so
But we all had Louisville, all
Yes.
3 of us.
I would say
So
we all
Louisville's
should
the
go
lock. All right. Shout out Jeff Brom. Louisville is the lock. How many people listening today you think were around when we did our Jeff Brom quarterback whisperer?
That was an
bit?
off-season segment last off-season, wasn't it?
That's the last offseason.
That was like a
We've had-
July run.
We've had quite a come up. We probably had like 30,000 subscribers during that time period.
We're probably a little over 50, right?
We didn't hit 50 until August of last year.
Okay, so yeah, we're probably around 40 at the time.
Hands up in the chat if you were around during that period. All right, let's get to unders. I ain't buying Bo Pribs. I am not. I am not buying stock in Bo Pribula, the quarterback. Also, Virginia's starting quarterback, by the way. Did you know that Virginia had, of their 11 wins last year, any guesses on how many of them were one-score wins?
I think there were 4 one-score wins last year.
Try 5. 5 one-score wins last year for Virginia. Highly doubt they repeat such successes, especially without the coach's son playing quarterback over there. Not a big Bo Pribula believer, so I'm fading the Virginia Cavaliers. Sorry, Who's.
All right. Yeah, I actually have Virginia in my overs, but I'm cool with it being on the unders as well. Like, I don't hate that. I didn't love it as my over pick either.
I think we're all going to stumble upon our lock pretty shortly here.
Stanford.
No, I'm going elsewhere.
Stanford 3.5.
I'm taking another 3.5.
Like Stanford's schedule, I just looked at it. I could not find 4 wins. I don't think it was that like they're that down bad. That's what I want to say. I don't even think it's that tough of a schedule, but they're that down bad.
Yeah.
Like God forbid they lose to Hawaii next week. God forbid that happens, you're dang sure not getting to 4 wins.
That line will drop immediately to 2.5.
Yeah, and then right after you play Hawaii, you got to go play Miami, or you play Miami at home, but it's Miami, then it's at Duke, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame's on the schedule, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Cal, SMU. Whew, there ain't 4 wins on there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I when I was looking at these lines initially on our friends at Hard Rock Bet, I saw UNC's and thought, I can find 5 wins for UNC. And then I went through the schedule. The only game on their schedule right now that I look at and can say with full confidence and an absolute certainty they will win is East Tennessee State. I could see them losing to UConn. I don't think they pull a win against TCU. I don't think they beat Clemson. They're not beating Notre Dame. I don't think they beat Pitt. I don't know if they're going to beat Duke. Syracuse will be tough for them. Louisville, Miami, Virginia, I'm hitting I would not be shocked if UNC is a 4-8 team this year. There is not a lot of games on there where I'm like, I could see them winning that one.
Boys, have you seen this Boston College schedule?
It's tough. They're on my do not touch.
Oh, man. How about at Cincinnati and Rutgers to start the season, non-cons? All right, then we get Maine in town. Hopefully we can handle Maine.
I sure hope so.
And then after that, it's Virginia Tech, at SMU, Pittsburgh, at Georgia Tech, at Duke, Florida State, at Notre Dame, Syracuse, and at Miami. How about having to go to Notre Dame and Miami in one season in 3 weeks for Boston College? 3.5 cashed under. No chance they get to 4 wins on that schedule.
I put them on my do not touch.
I got them one guaranteed win. And the rest of it is like, I don't know, man.
That's yeah.
You're going to have to find a way to win this ball game.
I put them on my do not touch simply because 4 wins seems like such an attainable number for any team. Like, you can't win 4 games. So I agree, it's a difficult schedule. There's only one real guaranteed win, but I would not be shocked if they won 4 games. So I had them on my do not touch.
I also had UNC on my unders, as I talked about earlier. I also have Wake Forest at 5.5. Now, for some reason, I was under the inclination that Wake Forest isn't very good. And then some people were telling us that we're way too low on Wake Forest heading into this season. I just would like for you to point out why I should be higher on them, because I'm struggling to find some reasons at the moment for myself. So Wake Forest 5.5, I'd hit the under on that one.
All right, now I know it's probably in everyone's do not touch because it's such a up and down year, and it's been down for 2 years in a row. What are we doing with Florida State at 6.5? If you had to actually take it, what are you doing?
I actually have that on my unders, like full confidence. Oof. And finding 5 losses was where it had to be.
Buddy didn't watch the Ashton Daniels film study today.
Like, one player is not.
I didn't want that to skew my view of them too much, though.
Right.
I don't want it to really just completely change what, because I will say this. I have slowly grown more positively for Florida State this offseason. Like, coming into the offseason, I was like, dumpster fire, not worth it. They're just going to be out there this season. I do think there's more positives on that roster than what people want to think. So I'm a little higher on them than I was to start. But I don't know if I'm 7 wins high.
You know who's not high on them? Their entire fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Except for Bowden's flip phone.
Yeah, he's an optimist, and I respect it.
And he's that dude. But I put out an Ashton Daniels film study today, and most of the responses I got from Florida State fans on social media were like, shut up, he's terrible. We're terrible. Everyone sucks. This football team's awful. I hate football. Screw Florida State. Like, it's so weird what's going on down there. And look, we do a lot of sometimes we do a lot of fan blaming around here. I do not blame that fan base for completely turning on them, because it seems like their athletic department has completely turned on football. They don't really seem to care right now about football. And they're rolling Mike Norvell out there hoping that he fails so they can buy him out and start it all over. But why would the next head coach go down there? You gave him one good run. He won 18 games in a row and then had a bad year, and then you gave him nothing for 2 straight years. Why would I do that? So I don't know, man. I'm higher on Ashton Daniels than everybody else. It's just hard for me to, like, if they get to 7-5, they're keeping Norvell. I've been told
they
that.
should.
If
you go 7-5 this year, you should.
And I think the whole entire fan base is like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather us go 4-8 and fire this guy.
Yeah, I think the bigger do not touch in the state of Florida here would be Miami for me, because they're 10-5.
Yeah.
And you have a game against Notre Dame. could easily lose that game, and then you're one slip up in conference play from being 10-2, and we've seen Miami go 10-2 in the ACC with a very manageable schedule before. But if I had to pick it, I would definitely pick the over. Like it's way more likely, in my opinion, they go 11-1 with a loss to Notre Dame than they do go 10-2 with this schedule.
Yeah, I agree. I'm same boat as you on Miami. The reason
somebody in the chat said Louisville is 8.5 right now, not on Hard Rock Bet, 7.5. You can get that good cash right there.
The reason I took the under for Florida State was because they have 4 ranked matchups: SMU, Alabama, Louisville, Miami. And then they play Florida at the end of the season, who I think we can all agree is a way more talented football team than them. That's 5 losses right there. That means they have to go perfect against Virginia, Clemson, Boston College, Pitt, NC State. I don't see that happening. I see you losing at least 2 of those games. That's why I took the under for Florida State, to circle back on that one.
So we locked in Louisville at 7.5 for an over. Who are we locking in for an under in the ACC right
I'd either
now?
go Stanford or UNC.
What would say you?
Yeah, I have UNC on my under, so I would lock those in.
All right, I jokingly put them in an over category, but they're not getting a 5 and 7. Give me UNC. You're going to hear more about that here in our next segment, which is Perfect Week 0 slate. The ideal world, TCU just absolutely pummels them into the ground. I don't know why I'm so anti-Bill Belichick right about now, but I just am. I just do not want this to work out at all. I want that booster to walk out of that place with absolute walk of shame.
That's not the perfect. We'll get to that.
It's not appropriate?
I said that's not the perfect. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Do not touches the whole conference. I opened that to start.
Yeah, Miami's on a do not touch for the reasons we talk about. I have Wake Forest on a do not touch as well. Wake Forest winning 6 games is such a weird thing to wrap my head around. I can't fathom. They might be able to do so, but that's one of those brands where you look at it, it's just like, ooh.
I think the real do not touch is Georgia Tech 6.5.
That's another really good one. I had Boston College at 3.5.
6-6 is so believable for them.
I think that entire fan base is about to figure out just how important Buster Faulkner was too.
Yeah, and how good, which I already know how good Haynes King was, but that dude was so vital for that offense. Like how efficient that offense was because of Haynes
great
King.
college quarterback.
Like that's not easy to find. You don't just replicate that with anybody.
No.
All right, let's pull up the app right quick, Jonathan, and let's get some action over there on Hard Rock Bet today. All right, hardrock.bet/film guy is how you get in on the action over there. Make sure you're supporting those who support us. We found this Louisville line at 3.5. So let's go back over here to our conferences right here. We got ACC. There's that Boston College 3.5. I like that under. We already talked about that. But let's scroll down to Louisville, add this over 7.5, which, by the way, again, 8.5 average wins the last 2 years at Purdue, my bad. And then our under, who do we lock in? UNC 4.5. All right, so let's go. You think there's some Purdue Boilermakers in the chat going to give me some smoke?
You
on
never
that
know
joke?
who's lurking.
You never know who's lurking. Maybe who's my Barry Odom? Maybe he's hanging out in the chat right about now. You have no idea. We like the under right there at 4.5 for UNC, and then we are DNTing the rest of the conference. Shout out to our friends over at Hard Rock Bet. Make sure you're getting in on the action. Hardrock.bet or hardrock.bet/film guy. It is Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a little What If Wednesday, shall we?
Ooh, yes. I almost forgot about this.
Did you in-swipe that?
Oh, no. I have to do it. You want me to do it
Yep.
at the
I
end?
want you to do that right now. Compliance is going to get us if they don't.
Boom.
So, yep, there we go. Boom. Making sure we handle all that. We're still new to this, having professional ad reads. We went 7 months without them.
Look, they made us add some nice fancy bells and whistles over here. Make us look a little more professional.
You also played the wrong one, too.
Oh, you want? Oh,
Yeah,
I
I want the disclaimer at the
I
end.
got you.
That's what I want. Let's
Please-
throw that one up right quick.
Where's this full screen one?
Make sure you gamble
Boy, it's
responsibly,
going to be
ladies and
really.
gentlemen.
Please read this. Gamble responsibly.
Must be 21 or older. All that good stuff.
It's going to be really buttoned up tomorrow when Jay Will's not here.
Oh, God.
And I'm doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. You're a smart guy.
At one point in one of our meetings, they were like, we do kind of like that you guys aren't perfect. I'm like, oh, well,
That's the
you're going to
thing.
love us.
That's the thing.
You are absolutely going to love us. But yeah, here we go. Let's talk about What If Wednesday. Here we go, boys. I was told next Tuesday, Ryan Grubb speaks to the media, which means Wednesday we might have a quarterback already named. What if it's Austin Mack?
Oh.
What if it's Austin Mack? All right, how quickly does Keelan Russell get tampered with?
I'm
You
not.
got to remember, Austin Mack's got another year. He didn't play in 2023. He could have taken a red shirt in 2024. Even if he did play in 2023, we got 5 to play 5 nowadays. TRO him. He'll come back.
I'm
Well-
not even asking how quickly does Keelan Russell get tampered with. I'm asking what does that fan base do? Because they're
Right.
already on edge with Kalen DeBoer, and they've kind of already bought into Keelan Russell is our guy. I mean, if you go look at Bama Twitter, it is all about Keelan Russell. If it's the other guy, ooh.
I saw an LSU fan subtweet a video of Keelan Russell practice throws and said, when Alabama names him the starter, he will save that program and they'll once again be elite. That's not even an Alabama fan talking about Keelan Russell like that. That is an LSU fan, a fan that probably doesn't like Alabama very much. And that's what he thinks or she thinks about Keelan Russell. It'll be a madhouse if he's not named the starting quarterback. But to answer your question, immediately.
Immediately.
As soon as the words
The phone will vibrate off the desk.
He has
Look,
probably already
Ryan
gotten
Grubb-
calls just to set a foundation in case.
Ryan Grubb won't even get out Austin Mack's full name, and Keelan Russell will have 10 missed phone calls.
And here's the problem nowadays, and I talked about this on Alabama radio today. It'll be such a bidding war. It's not just tampering. It's not just, hey, they're not going to play you the next 2 years. Come play for us. That agent will then have to do his job and get the most money that he can out of potential suitors. So even if you do get to a chance to retain him, maybe Keelan wants to play at Alabama, you're going to have to give him a raise. You have to give a kid who's never played for you because you chose Austin Mack, you have to give the kid an insurmountable raise because everybody's going to be throwing money at him. Totally different than where we were 3 or 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, it was, hey, they're going to give us a slight bump and promise us playing time. Now you're going to walk in there and that agent's going to say, hey, Kalen, hey, Courtney Morgan, these 7 schools contacted us, and this is the dollar amount that it's going to cost to keep us. Good luck. It's almost why, and it's what I said on radio today. It's like, if it is as close as they're talking about, it's got to be Keelan Russell.
Yes.
It would almost be, I'm not going to say malpractice. It would be a bad decision if it's this nail-biting close to roll with the guy who's only got 2 years versus the guy who's got 4. It would be a total bad decision for that football program, I think.
Agreed.
What if Ohio State and Texas both miss the playoffs because of their schedules?
Well, you can kiss.
How?
They both could go 9-3.
Who wins the game in week 2?
We'll see. You know, I saw someone floating out this this hypothetical.
A tie?
of they both are 9-3 at the end of the year, but Ohio State beats them at Texas.
Then Ohio State will be a playoff team.
You think it'll work that way?
Yeah, I think if one of those teams is 9-3, they should be a playoff team if they're looking at like a 10-2 Michigan or a 10-2 Penn State or maybe even a 10-2 team. Like honestly, and this is how you know I'm not a Georgia fan, Brooks Austin. If Georgia loses to, let's say, Oklahoma and Alabama, and they beat Ole Miss at the end of the season, they're 10-2. They don't play in the SEC championship game, and Ohio State's 9-3 with a win over Texas. Who goes into the playoffs?
Here's the thing I think we're forgetting. If you beat Texas or if you beat Ohio State, if you win that game, you should not be 9-3 at the end of the season because you've gotten past a harder part of your schedule. That means you're losing a game you shouldn't. Like the whole thing for Texas going 9-3 last year wasn't, hey, you didn't miss the playoff because Ohio State was a tough loss. You missed the playoff because you lost to Florida. And I think that's where we're getting mixed up.
What about this hypothetical? Both teams are 9-3. Texas wins the game. All right. In this hypothetical, Texas wins. They're 9-3. Ohio State's 9-3. Texas makes the SEC championship game, though. They lose in the SEC championship game. They're now 9-4.
Oh, not. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good
They're
hypothetical.
BYU in that.
Now, the odds
They're
of it,
BYU in that. It's just no, can't have it. I know we're not punishing teams for playing in conference championship games, but we're gonna. That's what they did to BYU last year.
now the odds of them being 9-3 while beating Ohio State and having a 3-loss team make the conference title, that's not like. So maybe in that situation should have been Texas wins, but Ohio State makes the Big Ten championship. They'd lose. Like, I don't know. It'd be crazy. I think it'd be an outrage is what I'm getting at.
I think someone did the inverse of this one last week on Wednesday. But what if Miami loses to Clemson and FSU in back-to-back weeks and then beats Notre Dame by 14 points?
I think we did have that one.
You had the inverse of that. You had Notre Dame losing 2 games but beating Miami.
That's right.
So now we have the inverse of this because both schedules are ridiculously easy.
Well,
Let's say Miami's is easier.
in that scenario,
Who were the 2 teams they lost to?
Clemson and FSU in back-to-back weeks.
in that scenario, you better hope you made the conference championship and you win it.
Or you better hope your quarterback was hurt
I mean, it's kind of
during those
like
2
that.
games
It's
to
kind
have
of
an
a-
excuse for the losses.
kind of a replay of what we saw last year. Like Miami lost 2 games they shouldn't have, but they had a really good win against Notre Dame that kind of boosted them in. I think the fact that Notre Dame game's on the road this year will bode even better for them. So I don't have a reason to say Miami won't be a playoff team this year.
Stephen Conrad didn't listen to last night's show. The last time Ohio State lost 3 games in a season was 2008.
Yes.
2008. So that season can almost.
Oh, by the way,
cigarettes.
that's wrong. It's 2011. They went 6-7 that year.
In 2011.
Yep.
How'd you miss that on stats?
Someone
Reference?
commented that under our YouTube video and said, "I love the Ohio State love, but it was 2011 we went 6-7." And I looked it up today, and that's correct.
Huh?
Okay. It's been 15
Yeah,
years.
not that
Sorry.
that's still not impressive.
Sorry, it's got a learner's permit.
Yeah, not that that's
Yeah.
not impressive.
Sorry,
still,
I was
but
Couple
Sorry,
years
guys.
away from
just wanted to
behind
clear the
scenes.
air. We
Thank
don't
you.
spread misinformation on
Jayla,
this channel.
Thank you for making that
Yes,
correction.
you're welcome.
I think my point still stands that it's been 15 years since that team.
Oh
has
no,
lost.
absolutely. The point is still there. Like it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Not perfect.
What if Arch Manning comes back for another season?
Todd
next year?
McShay's adamant about it.
If
Keeps
Arch
talking
Manning-
about it.
This is what I really want to ask about that. So
To
Arch
what,
Manning,
by the way,
huh?
what would he be coming back to?
Texas.
Well, duh. A brand new offensive line, a brand new wide receiver core, a brand new defense.
This is the question and this is why I asked this because I wanted to ask this question. Wouldn't that kind of be a bad thing?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that also
Yes.
like if Arch Manning is because if you tell Texas fans right now, like and Bandit, you can tell me I'm wrong in the chat. If I were to tell Texas fans right now, I can guarantee you that Arch Manning is returning next season. That'd probably be great. You probably would happily take Arch Manning back for another season. But to me, that reads as that just means we didn't play good enough this year
Yes.
to go to the NFL
Yes.
and be a first-round draft pick.
It would be 2 things. My second thought would be, great, Arch is back. My first thought would be, damn, why wasn't Arch good enough to go?
Yeah.
And with this, and why would I assume that it's going to be better next year? Again, you're going to lose 3, maybe 4 offensive linemen. You're going to lose 3, maybe 4 wide receivers. I mean, it'll be a brand new football team next year for Texas. So I don't know why it would be a good decision. I would take the 28th overall selection in the NFL draft. That dude is not getting out of the first round. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Nope.
There is no way 32 NFL owners are like, a Manning?
Also,
I'm good. Not happening.
worst case scenario for Arch Manning's professional career is he's a career backup and he will always be a career backup because he will remain on an NFL roster. Like the idea that it would be a 1 and done or a 2 and done for him, like I didn't win the starting job there or started a couple games and got benched, then got signed somewhere else and now his career's over. No, it will be Arch Manning is always on an NFL roster. Like that's worst case scenario for Arch Manning.
I got one more to close the national hour.
Let's hear it.
What if Pat McAfee's the musical act for week 1 of College Game Day?
Yeah, I think we'll just close it there. Local hour. Run the intro.
That's a good one.
Talking about take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network. It is our local hour. We finna talk that dog. By the way, new shirts available on the merch store with the back saying dog mentality. We love these. We love these. I think it's my favorite shirt that we've made so far in the merchandise store.
Ooh. Yeah,
Agree?
it's a good one. I really like it.
Check them out. We got those ready for your purchase. We got Kirby Smart press conference notes. We got narratives talk around Gunnar Stockton. It is Wednesday. We've got local edition of What If Wednesday. And we also are 17 days away from college football. So we're going to play a little game with that. Boys, I want to start by making sure everybody likes, subscribes, and tells a friend about this place. Make sure you're doing that. All right, let's get into these Kirby Smart press conference notes. I was supposed to be there in attendance today. Leland Barrow, if you're listening today, I did not lie to you. I was misinformed by my co-host over here, Jonathan, forgetting to tell me that he was leaving for vacation. So we had like 5 hours worth of film studies to record this morning. I'm sorry. I'm not big leaguing you. It's just the schedule's getting a little bonkers.
I don't really appreciate that because I'm going to be the one seeing Leland a whole lot more this season. Because don't
you guys know your role? Your role is to take darts for me. Your role is to stand in front, be a good, willing soldier, and take some bullets every once in a while for your dumb, ignorant boss. Okay?
I know.
The idea.
You did not sign up for that? That's not what you signed up for?
I did not sign up for that. No.
Y'all just signed up for all the glory that comes with this place. You did not sign up for the bad? Is that what I'm getting?
I'm cool.
Do you know who you married? Sometimes I have to tell my wife this. Do you know who you married?
I'm cool with taking darts, but the idea of Leland thinking less of me, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't want that to be the cost of a dart.
All right, I'll text him and apologize myself.
I did get a hearty fist bump from him today. So.
Yeah?
Nice, dude.
Where do you sit when you go in there?
Left side, like
front row?
Second or third row back.
No, you got to go left side, front row.
Why?
Because that's the film guy seat. That's our show's seat. That's where they expect to see us. When they come in there, they look right over there for first question. Did you get first question?
No.
All right, man. If we're gonna go in there, you got to meet the standard. The standard is front row, left, first question. Except on Tuesdays, give that one to Jordan Hill. Hey, coach, how's practice been this week? Was that the first question today?
I don't remember the first question that was today. I remember.
Give me the rundown.
First thing Kirby Smart opens with, comes out and says, I would like to congratulate someone who has been a very, very big part of this program, of this university, of this city. Lawrence Smith is being inducted into the Broadcast Hall of Fame today.
Nice.
So shout out Lawrence.
What do you got, Lauren?
Well, that's a really bad Larry Muncie impression.
They're all really bad. All my impressions are really bad. We've already established.
Didn't you hear the Minnesotan that was a Boston accent?
Golfers.
It is not Minnesota. So yeah, shout out to Lauren Smith. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to the women's soccer match that's taking place tomorrow night in Sanford. I believe they're going to try to break a record that's been standing for about 20 years.
Yeah, 20,000.
The first question that was asked of Kirby Smart was about Justice Fitzpatrick and when his timetable is for returning. The answer of that was Justice Fitzpatrick is actually cleared. He just hasn't done anything tackle yet. He's done everything else. So he's done indie drills. He's done cutting. He seems to be steadily getting healthier. I would not be shocked at all if he gets some action in the first 2 games of the season. At some point, we will see Justice Fitzpatrick. The next question was, hey, who's sticking out from the receiver group? What do you see from them? And we got a classic Kirby Smart answer. They're working extremely hard. Very pleased with that. Also mentioned how it's the quarterback and O-line that tends to set up the success for the wide receivers. So duck that one masterfully, a classic Kirby Smart answer.
I do want to stop you.
Go ahead.
The idea that Justice Fitzpatrick is medically cleared in August.
Insane.
When he blew his knee up in December.
Absolutely insane.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, no.
We also reported that like a month ago. So
that's true. We did also do that. Let's see. Next was asked about, and this was also like, hey, coach, heard Drew Bobo might have had something go on with his hand here. Do you have any details on that?
Also broke that one yesterday. Patreon.com/SportsAustin.
The classic example of like, I'm not going to explicitly ask something because I know the information to it, but I kind of want to see if I can get a story out of Kirby that fits with my narrative. Coach Smart looks deadpan at the person who asked this question, who I'm not going to reveal. He goes, he practiced yesterday. He did everything. He's fine. So there's your update for Drew Bobo, who supposedly had a hand injury. Kirby Smart didn't seem to entertain that. Oh, we've got a wardrobe change.
Doing wardrobe changes now?
Nice.
Yeah, when you get a new merch, you got to push it somehow.
For sure.
Push it by rocking it.
For sure.
I don't think I'm the best model on this stage, maybe the third best model on this stage. But hey, I was the one who drove over to the merch store today, so I'm the one who got the merch. You guys also got some merch today.
Yeah, dude, I got a nice little hat.
You're welcome.
I won't wear it on air, though, because, we're non-biased.
Professionals.
Yeah, non-biased.
Next question was, how has Gunnar Stockton improved with layering passes? That was kind of something that I think has been the talk of the offseason for Gunnar that he needs to improve on. He's improved tremendously. His confidence in the pocket and movement skills have improved. We're pleased with his growth and work ethic. Classic Kirby.
Gunnar Stockton right there.
I feel like you could very easily train an API to make a Kirby Smart answering machine that you just ask it questions and he will feed you exactly what Kirby Smart will say. Got another one for you. Heard some things about, Craig Dandridge had been having a lot of success early. Might have got a stinger at practice. Coach, do you have any updates on Craig Dandridge, how he's doing?
He's got a head.
Nope. We didn't even get that.
Dang.
We said he's great. He's continuing to work hard. He's getting better every day. He's a pleasure to work with. Didn't even acknowledge it.
Those probably good not to acknowledge right now. Like, don't even want to put that.
That one got me chuckling in my seat. Like, God, he's so good, dude. So good. It just, I know what you're trying to do here, and I'm not having it. Cole Speer, and this is kind of breaking news. So we kind of talked about how yesterday Cole Speer is back with the program, part of this 5th-year thing. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart revealed he's actually not officially back with the team. They've had conversations with Cole Speer. They're seeing if this is an option, but Cole Speer is not officially back on the Georgia Bulldogs roster yet, per Kirby Smart.
So that to me maybe means they just want to see how all of this plays out, and maybe they just haven't officially signed anything or whatever you have to do to get him officially back on the roster. Or maybe they wanted to see if the transfer portal did open up, and maybe Cole Speer wanted to test the waters there first. Like, I wouldn't blame him if he did that. I know he's a dog till he dies, but I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he's like trying to actually go find like a starting role or potentially a good playing time somewhere.
I think these guys been working out.
I would imagine a guy like
maybe.
I would imagine a guy like, why would they be?
Because
They just enjoy working out.
Yeah, like that.
They're just healthy young men.
It
Cole
depends on what
Speer
kind of
also
person you are.
strikes me as the type of guy that at least this early into his post-college football career, you just stay ready for anything potentially. Like, you just stay ready for an invite to a different football league, or you stay ready for like whatever. I don't know. He just seems like the type of guy that
ain't got to get ready if you stay ready kind of guy.
Yeah. Facts.
Okay.
Next
And I mean, they're 22, 23 years old. It shakes back pretty quickly at that age.
You can get pretty good shape pretty quickly. Next question was, hey, coach, for this 3rd down running back role, I understand, like, what are you exactly looking for?
God, they were hunting for stories today, weren't they?
They were hunting for stories. What do you think Kirby Smart said is the most important trait for this position?
I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
For a 3rd down running back role.
Pass protection.
Yeah, pass protection.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm
would have
saying.
thought that was the same thing too. He did not say that. He said, in fact, it's not as important as being able to catch, be a really good receiver, have savvy instincts, know when to run out when the quarterback changes protection. Said that catching is really important. It's the most important in running routes. Mentioned that pass pro is important, but he said, I think only like 20% of the time did we have a running back actually protect last year.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of draining where we swing the back knowing that it's going to pull one of the linebackers out of the box anyways, and then we play 5-on-5 big on big.
So pass pro is not nearly as important to a 3rd down running back's job as we thought it was, according to Kirby Smart. After that, quarterbacks, how did you feel like they did during scrimmage? Did you get any takeaways from Ryan and Hezekiah and Ryan?
I mean, you guys know more than me. Why don't you tell me? Did you give him one of those?
He did not give one of those today. He did.
That's my favorite one when he does that. I mean, you guys know more about my football team than I do, so why don't y'all just tell me what happened?
He did give a banger of an answer, and I'll get to that one later. Pleasure with all their growth. He made sure to mention everyone. Threw Bryson Beaver's name out there too, of just like, he's doing great as well. So another Kirby Smart classic. This is kind of the one that went most viral today. Someone asked him about Juan Gaston, what they've seen from his camp and how he's improved over the summer or off the offseason. And he kind of shut down this narrative that Juan Gaston is the perfect and most flawless offensive tackle Georgia's ever had. He goes, somewhere in your guys' world, he's become this great specimen. He's had an incredible offseason. He said Juan Gaston needs to work on his weight and stamina. He has to get in better shape so he can sustain long 8 to 9 to 10 play drives for us. He has to be able to play more. So
I know as soon as we got done with media availability, that night I get asked on Discord, hey, did Juan Gaston look as great as they're talking about? Like, did his body magically change? And I'm like, I thought he looked relatively similar to what he looked like in the spring and what he looked like towards the end of last year. I mean, He's almost 6'8". He's 360 pounds. He's still baby faced. I mean, he still looks like a young man. Like I didn't understand the hype on that one, to be honest. I understand the hype on the player. No one's higher on him than I am, but this miraculous body transformation I didn't see either.
I mean, I would put it like, for Juan Gaston, in my eyes, like the time I saw him in high school, I think he was an incoming senior. He was going into his final year of high school football. And then the next time when I saw him in a Georgia football uniform, it was the exact same player. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because Juan Gaston was absolutely massive in high school. Yeah, and he's still absolutely massive. I'm just saying, like, I've never seen this guy's body really change all that much.
Yeah, not to comp him to this guy, but Brock Bowers didn't really change from the second he walked on to this. Like, and obviously Juan Gaston can improve according to Kirby Smart, but I don't think there was this incredible change just yet. This was actually an interesting question he was asked of the modern era of college football, the NIL athlete, the changes that college football is going through. Do you feel like you have to change your demanding nature and your hard coaching styles to better fit your team and your roster? And he said, we don't really feel like we changed practice or how we do it. They've changed some approaches and schedules where they go, 1 day off, 1 day on, or 3 days on, whatever schedule they have. But he feels like the camp time has been the same, and he's always tried to get the best out of his players. So probably has adjusted and tweaked some things, but I think it's still probably Kirby Smart, the same guy it was 25 years ago when he got started in this business. This was my favorite part of the day. So first question was it was a two-part question from someone who we can put together who it might have been. First question was like, what were the Skull Olympics, and what did you take away from that? And he kind of talked about the PKs, how the girls went 10 for 10 on PKs, the guys actually went 7 for 10, which is better than they expected.
By the way, watching, I think it was Caden Prothro try to be a PK blocker, like a goalie,
yeah,
made me reevaluate my let's just throw LeBron James in the net thing, because he didn't look all that athletic trying to dive and block a soccer ball.
No,
neither did Quintavious Johnson either. But I think he just picked a side and guessed.
I think that's literally the name of the game when it comes to those, though. I don't know much about soccer, but blocking a PK is one of the most difficult things you could do in that sport, I would imagine.
Coach Smart did say that I think it's like a 75 to 80% success rate for PKs.
Yeah,
he knew that.
He according to him, he was talking to the soccer head coach at the time this was going on. So that was what he reviewed. And I don't even remember from getting the number right. So then he talked about how the special teams guys played a form of volleyball with the soccer balls, said all that. And the funniest part about it, he goes into all this explanation about, all these school sessions, and he goes, and they had a punishment for losing. Like, we had this team building exercise, this fun, like talking about like what goes into a skull group, how it's one, like a certain amount of players from every room, how it makes you be a leader and all those things. And he goes, and yeah, they had punishments for losing. Like the idea of, because everyone's seen the video on Twitter of him having that fantastic moment of like team building and all the fun. That's like, all right, you guys lost, so you got to go run stadiums right now. Very funny. The second part of this question was about a driving contest, and I wasn't aware of
like
this.
a golf ball driving contest.
Yeah, like
not we took them to.
Yeah. Let's be very specific here.
Yes, I should have checked the language.
A golfing long drive competition.
The long drive contest, I believe, is the exact language of that. My mistake, guys. I should know better.
No.
Who won the long drive contest? And Kirby Smart gets to the point. He's like, it's slipping my mind right now. I'm trying to remember who exactly it was.
Because that's what he was prepped for coming into there.
Exactly.
Who won the long drive competition between the quarterbacks?
I can't remember. I don't know if it was the person who asked this question or someone else in that vicinity, but they threw out the name. Was it Bryson Beaver? And he like snaps out of a trance and looks up and goes, yeah, see, you guys already know the answer to your questions. It just moves on. And everyone like kind of like nervously giggles like, haha, yeah, we do. Sorry, coach. So that was kind of, final question that Kirby Smart was asked was, what does Ellis Robinson need to do to become an elite corner?
Let me guess. Ellis was speaking to the media today.
Mm-hmm. How'd you know?
Well, they do that.
Right.
Hey, we're going to get a chance to talk to so-and-so in a couple of minutes. Give me a sound bite I can put in the article that I'm going to write about him. Yeah, we got to stack. Did they teach all that in journalism school? You got to stack the story?
Well, I mean, that's just, knowing, like, building an article. Like, you want to get as much quotes as possible.
Okay.
It's a classic.
Didn't go to one of those fancy schools, so I wouldn't know.
You learn a thing or two.
Classic.
A lot of things.
Tactic.
Self-taught, blue collar, this guy.
But the thing he said, basically, Ellis and DeMello need to get more consistent, not down on themselves when they miss a play. He's hinted at that before, like they can get very caught up in messing up. So that was how Ellis and DeMello could get better and become elite corners.
DeMello's still holding on to that Ole Miss play. They asked him about it when he spoke to the media in the spring, and he was like, I'm not talking about that. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, man.
You're good.
You're good, bro. You're going to be a top 45 pick this year. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be all right.
Don't worry, DeMello. Everyone's blaming Bobo and the quarterback. You're good, man.
Don't worry, DeMello. The safety was on the far hash for some random reason.
I like imagine like he like after Ole Miss kicks that field goal and you just pat him on the shoulder like they're gonna blame Bobo anyway. Don't worry about it.
Get your head up, son. They're going to blame Mike. Don't worry about it.
It's not your fault, buddy.
By the way, you know who gets way too much smoke? The safety in 2nd and 26. What was
Dominic
his name?
Sanders.
Dominic Sanders.
It was Malcolm Parrish's fault.
It's the corner's fault.
Oh, yeah.
You got to reroute. You didn't get hands on it all.
No.
And like Dominic Sanders gets all that smoke for that play. It's not even his fault.
Yeah, and by the way,
there's like 3 safeties in the history of football that are getting over the top of that whole throw if you don't reroute the corner
Yeah,
or
by
the
the
wide
way,
receiver.
it was a future Heisman winner at the wide receiver position. It's not like it was just some like, oh, this random freshman that we had just so happened to be here. Like, no, that guy was a first-round wide receiver who ended up being a Super Bowl champion, won the Heisman. Like, he was the dude. So, yeah, it's not Dominic Sanders' fault. Next player we got in the availabilities was Jacoby White-Helton. Jacoby White-Helton, who had a lot to say, I feel like.
Oh, he's a boisterous young man.
We got a good 12.
Big smile on that kid, too.
Yeah, really good smile. Got a good 10 to 12 minutes out of him. He was asked about, hey, what can the wide receiver room do to become more explosive, help this offense become more explosive? What do we think Jacoby White-Helton's answer was?
Catch the ball.
It's a good guess, Brooks.
Well, sorry, I'm reading some more important information from a friend. What's up?
What do you think Jacoby White-Helton's answer was for how can the wide receivers help the offense be more explosive?
Blocking downfield.
Oh, he got it. Great. I was surprised by this at first. Like, that's not typically the first thing wide receivers say. Blocking downfield helps play action. Play action helps open up the passing game. He says they wanted to show that in the scrimmage. So blocking downfield is how Georgia wide receivers are going to help become more explosive, which it makes sense. Next question was obviously, hey, you go against a defense. What are your thoughts on the defense? He says he believes they're the best red area defense in the country. Extremely physical, all those things. So if you want that headline, Georgia wide receiver says Georgia has best defense in red zone. Go ahead.
Best red area D in college football.
There you go. Where's Gunnar Stockton grown as a quarterback? He's able to stay in the pocket more and look downfield more, which gives us more time to get open. He has a lot more touch, and he just believes in himself more. So seems like we're hearing all good things from that as those who catch passes from Gunnar Stockton. What did he learn from Zachariah Branch? And the question was also phrased with, like, you're obviously your own wide receiver, and people are going to compare that. What did Zachariah Branch teach you as a player that you can take into this? Not everything has to be done 100 miles an hour. It's more about definition and timing of routes than it is just full horsepower and speed. So that makes sense, though, because I feel like there were times where Zachariah Branch didn't necessarily look like he was moving that fast, and that's just because he's Zachariah Branch. But
it reminds me of the Deshaun Jackson quote when he got into the league. Before he got into the league, he spent some time with Jerry Rice, and somebody asked him, like, what's the best piece of advice Jerry Rice gave? He said, slow your butt down. You do not need to run this fast. In fact, when you're running routes, you don't need to be full speed. You need to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And if you're sprinting through everything, running 4.28 speed, you're going to blow through every zone you're ever supposed to be in. The quarterback's not going to be, his eyes and feet aren't going to be there by the time you're there.
right.
So, yeah, slowing down is an important thing. We want to use all those God-given traits once we get the ball. But to get open, it's nuance, it's finesse, it's route running. Route running is not full speed stop. It is sell a outside move, get back inside. It's Chad Johnson. It's Ocho Cinco. It's not these blazing speed guys. I got to take this phone call.
Okay. Next question he was asked about was what would Cole Speer bring? Because I think that question had to be twisted a little bit since Kirby Smart. What would Cole Speer bring? His value and experience helps the young guys a lot, which makes a lot of sense. He's a veteran in that. He was talking about Jacoby, even mentioned like he's been there longer than a lot of other guys had who were older than me. So makes perfect sense. Next question was about Craig Dandridge. What have you seen from him? So Kobe White-Helton declares that he is the top freshman right now. He's been blown away by his playmaking abilities. He thinks he has a lot of confidence and want to keep that through the roof.
Yeah, he'll get told not to say anything like that moving forward.
Yeah, there was a
You're
lot.
not supposed to single anybody out. You're supposed to say, "Oh, they're all great. All the young wide receivers."
Or
great.
if you are going to give a name, you say Craig Dandridge. Well, also so-and-so, they've been great
Craig
as well.
Dandridge just come in and really taken to the team. He's working really hard. All those young guys are. Boom. End of statement. That's how that's supposed to go. And he'll get coached up on correcting that. I can guarantee you that right now.
What have you seen from the Ryans? Says, they just both stepped up and are having fun right now. It's about having
They
fun.
were even hunting the players for storylines.
They were prodding. And it's funny because we got about 6 minutes, Ellis. They very clearly gave up 3 minutes in the air because, we're not getting anything out of this guy. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Do you hear the criticisms about the wide receiver room and the explosiveness of the offense? He says we hear it, but we keep our heads down and keep working. People always have their opinions on everything. What unique traits have stuck out so far from the freshmen and this team in general? Leadership was the first. So that's good, and that's, we're getting a little bit more back to the media train, what you're supposed to say. Not, we're going to be explosive this year, we're going to be this. Leadership. So he beat off the veer, went off the path a little bit, but final question was, hey, off season's coming to an end, school's starting. How do you juggle all of this where, just 3 months ago it was football, you live, breathe, and die in football?
I didn't come to school to play school.
Oh, God, no. I think Kirby Smart would have dragged him out of that room if he'd have said that.
Yeah, I envision there being a secret button that there's a trap door beneath the podium, and if you say something like that,
it's like those new shock gloves they got. Like as soon as you say it, your hands on the podium go.
Yeah, like an Emperor's New Groove. Pull the lever, pull the lever, Kirby.
Pull the lever, Gronk.
Such an underrated movie. But no, focusing on what's important now and doing everything and handling yourself like a professional, knowing that right now I got to work on a lift, or right now I'm in class, right now I'm in practice, right now I'm in homework. So we got back to the good UGA trained up answers after declaring that UGA had the best red zone D and that Craig Dandridge was the best freshman. So a solid outing from Kobe White-Helton. Final one we got was Ellis Robinson. And Ellis Robinson is a poster child for what you want to be as a media-trained Georgia Bulldogs player. One sentence answer, that's all you get.
But he's just been studying Raylan Wilson media availabilities.
Yeah, dude. It was fun. Very, very nice. Very not someone you're like, he doesn't want to be here.
Not approachable, just short and to the point.
Exactly. He was asking, which receiver is hard to cover, and what makes the receivers hard to cover. Everyone's great. Got to bring your A game for everyone. Just like that.
Yeah. But if you ask him about who in the league is tough to cover, he'd probably be like, nobody.
Well,
nobody.
It does get interesting. So what would you tell yourself, a younger version of you when you were a freshman without pressure? Hey, you just got to have the next play mentality. You're going to make mistakes, and that's all right. All right, now let's get to, let's see if we can prod them on some players. Tell us about Talon and Prothro. The two freshmen, or one of the freshmen coming in, and Talon, a guy who had his season cut short last year due to injuries. They're all dogs. They're really good at, and just name leadership traits. Energy, work ethic, practice, all that fun stuff else goes into that. Next thing he was talked about is, hey, you were put on the first team All-American list preseason. That's got to be exciting. What does that do for expectations? That's a team award. That's a team thing. That's credit to all the guys that helped me get there. But it doesn't really add any expectations, Short answer from Ellis. And by this point in the interview, I think people kind of, the beat was looking around like, all right, we've got all the stories we're going to be able to get out of this. Let's take it home. I was asked about Braylon Conley. What do you feel like him? He's a baller on and off the field. I'm excited to see what he can do. What was your favorite part of the Skull Olympics, the goalie thing? He said being a goalie was way harder than he expected. That was a fun part. That let him cut loose a little bit more. Kyron coming back. What does that bring, a guy who's been battling injury, finally getting to see some...
Big hit of the Llama.
What?
Big hit of the Llama.
No, I don't think he said that. I said he's not scared to tackle, not scared to hit.
Big hitter.
Yeah.
Big hit of the Llama.
Next, brings a lot of FPE. Fire, passion, energy. Made sure to drop the tagline in there. Beautifully done. This one was, I think, masterclass of Ellis Robinson. Mike Griffith talked about, hey, you got to spend some extra time with Kirby Smart during this offseason. You know, reference the Mario Cristobal and Kirby Smart roasting of each other. Ellis Robinson had a front seat for that. I was like, what do you remember for that? Ellis Robinson smiles and goes, I don't have much to say about that. End of question. Beautifully done. Final 2 questions he was asked. Said, hey, we've heard, Raylan Wilson says you're the best trash talker. Where does that come from? And he goes, it just comes from confidence and being able to play the next play and knowing that even if something bad happens, I can always, make up for it. So the confidence aspect. Final topic, he was like, trash talking can get kind of serious. Are there any topics that are off limits for you? With the guys on the team, yes. Opposing guys, nothing. End of interview.
I feel like there's 2 types of players that get thrown into the media. More specifically, guys that get thrown to the media after football games, because those are guys that have been through lots of media training at this point. Those are guys that they trust the most to put out there and answer questions and get immediate reactions from games. You're either going to get a guy like Raylan Wilson, who's going to sit there and answer every question, give you short responses, say nothing wrong at all. That's all fine and dandy. Or you're going to get a guy like Lawson Lucky, who's going to give you a more abundant answer to your question. But essentially, you're going to get the same answer. Like, one's just going to be shorter than the other. Those are the 2 types of guys that you get in these media pools.
And the thing is fun is, like, back when we were writing articles, like, seeing a guy like Lawson Lucky was like, ooh, the word count's going to be good today. Like when Ellis Robinson walks in, you're like, man, I'm going to have to, like, write a whole nother paragraph about this because he's only going to say one sentence. Like, Lawson gives thorough explanations to his answers. So.
Now, I haven't written in like a year, but what's it like to no longer have that burden on you guys now?
I will say, to speak on this a little bit, like going to football games last year during the playoffs and just sitting there was quite weird. Very weird. Because usually at the very least, we're in the press box and we were doing, live updates. And so after every play, staring at your computer, getting everything down, looking up again.
Maybe you guys should take the normal media approach and just tweet, Georgia picks up first down on 4-yard carry.
I don't think I'll ever be that guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just don't think that's my bag.
I think it adds tremendous value to the timeline of people who are watching the game.
I'll give my takes. That's about what I do. But hey, some people do it differently.
Some people are paid to do that, so no shot to them.
No shot at all. Speaking of shouts, let's give a shout to our friends over at SeatGeek. SeatGeek, we love our friends over there. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app in the world. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and much, much more. College football, it's not just almost back. It is back. It's time to start buying tickets over there if you haven't already. Head over there today. Let's check it out right now, Jonathan. I'm looking at this Ravens at Falcons game. You want to go see Lamar Jackson?
I'd love to see Lamar Jackson.
I mean, you don't want to see Cooper Rush. We know that. But do you want to see Lamar Jackson?
Would love to see Lamar Jackson.
You can see Lamar Jackson, row 9, section 115, right in the corner of the end zone for only $328, and you'll be one of, 12,000 people inside the stadium.
I think that's about where I sat for the Peach Bowl in 2022.
I sat right there. Looking at this photo, I sat right there in the Georgia Dome when Aaron Rodgers got throttled by Matt Ryan in a playoff game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I remember
Julio
right
Jones
there.
just cooked him.
Yeah, Julio
That
Jones
was
cooked
in the
that.
dome, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the dome. I sat right there.
Last season.
I don't know if we paid $328. Probably paid a little bit more than that. But guess what? You can get 10% off over there at SeatGeek with promo code FilmGuide10. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code FilmGuide10. Make sure you click the link in the description of this video and have the app automatically downloaded and add that to your account. Thank you to our friends over at SeatGeek. All right, so we did presser notes. Let's do narrative talk around Gunnar Stockton.
Or should we hit a What If Wednesday?
Oh,
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Let's
a
hit What
pretty
If
pressing
Wednesday.
topic.
I like this. What if Jared Curtis is ungodly?
Like,
Just a freaking dude. Off rip, week 1, just throwing beams all over the place. Those 300 yards, comes to Athens, puts up 35 points, but you beat him.
I think Kirby.
How you feel?
Puts
how,
up
how does the internet feel? Not Kirby. Not us. Not real analysts. How does the internet feel about that?
oh, the internet? Well,
This is why Kirby got to get up off his high horse and start paying quarterbacks.
there's already people that are disgruntled that Georgia has Gunnar Stockton as a quarterback.
Yeah,
So then you add in the fact that there's a 5-star quarterback that was going to come to Georgia, and this is what would happen. They would forget everything that kind of happened in the midst of that recruitment down to the wire, and immediately it would turn into, this is what we get for having Bobo as the OC. Elite doesn't want to come play here. That's what it would turn into. This is all Bobo's fault.
It's all Bobo's fault. That's right. You're right.
Any time.
Who's he throwing to? Legendary Cole Adams. What kind of questions you asking in the chat? You don't know about Cole Adams? You finna. All 5'9" of them.
Anytime in history.
Route specialist, lunch pail, Damon. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anytime in history Georgia has played a team where the quarterback plays better, the opposing quarterback plays better, it is, whether they win or not, by the way, it is a uproar from the fan base. This is why, Kirby Smart's got to get out of here. He doesn't know what he's doing with quarterbacks. So, yeah, that's what would happen essentially. But there would also be a massive part of that fan base that is clowning Jared Curtis. So,
yeah, part of you, though, if that happens, like he plays ungodly, but he still loses. What'd you say the score would be? Loses by how many?
Let's call it 42-35.
Okay, 42 to okay, that's pretty close. But I was going to say, at the very least, maybe what you should think instead is he did all of that against us and he still couldn't win.
Yeah, if Georgia puts up...
That's why you should have came to Georgia.
Yeah, if you came to Georgia, you would have put up 60 that game because you would have been on the other side of it. But
if Jared Curtis in that offense put up 35 against Georgia, we're not winning a national championship. That defense is nowhere near what anyone advertised it out to be, and we have problems. So that's what my takeaway from that would be.
What if the wide receiver room struggles early but peaks late? And I asked this question because I understood that the wide receiver room was young, but I don't think that people, or at least I didn't understand just how young this wide receiver room is. Like, I'm just going to read you some of the ages of these guys. Junior, senior, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, freshman, senior, sophomore. Like, so you have two veterans in your starting lineup, and it's underclassmen all after that. Like, it's such a young group.
Zakoby's entering year 3, and he hasn't played all that much.
And he's a year 3 sophomore.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's why I say, like, maybe they struggle a little bit early, but this might be a group that mid-season and on, like, they might start peaking. They might start playing their best football at that point.
That's great. If you're peaking in January, sign me up. Like, that's all that matters anymore in college football. Play good enough and then peak in January.
Mm.
And it's funny because you just asked that. What if you don't need the wide receivers to win you a game this year? What if you're so good at running the football, and what if your defense is actually as advertised? What if you don't need to ever put 40 points up?
That's funny. One of my what ifs is, what if you have a top 5 defense and a top 10 rushing attack?
That's been a kind of a recipe to win national titles as of late.
Another one I have is
plausible, by the way.
Another one I have is, what if the defense doesn't have a bad game, like, at all? Now, Georgia's defense had plenty of bad games last year, and we talked about that. And even you point to, like, some of the greatest defenses they've had. The 21 defense, obviously the SEC championship against Bama. The 22 defense, LSU wasn't a great performance. The Peach Bowl certainly was not one of their finest moments, but they were still a great defense. The 2023 defense kind of gets put aside as like the middle child of those, where it's like, yeah, they were good, but they weren't nearly as good as the other two. They never had a bad game. Mm-hmm. They never allowed more than 30 points. They allowed more than 25 points just once, and that was in the SEC championship against Bama, which, by the way, they were given 3 points because of a fumble inside the red zone. So there is a world where Georgia's defense doesn't have that, supposed bad game that everyone's worried about, where if the defense has a bad game, the offense can't make up for it. What if that never has to happen?
Well, then you're setting yourself up to be in a great position to go and win a national title. If that's the case, like if you could tell me right now that Georgia's defense doesn't have a bad game, and if that margin of what is a bad game and what is not, they don't allow more than 21 points a single time in a single game, then at that point I'd almost be comfortable enough to say that Georgia doesn't lose a single game. Because I think that this offense would be good enough to score more than 21 points almost every single game.
Efficient enough.
So I look up in Discord today, and I see a clip from Bussin' with the Boys, Fringes the show. Mm-hmm. And Taylor Lewan gets asked by Mac Jones, who's the craziest teammate you've ever played with? And he immediately goes, it's Isaiah Wilson, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. The what if is, what if he would have panned out? That's a whole nother universe. But he went on to talk about how the dude would fall asleep in meetings. The dude would show up late to meetings smelling like booze. It got to a point where Taylor was like, hey, just share your location with me. Not to it obviously didn't do much for him, I don't think. But he said he left the share location on like 2 years after he got removed from the team. So he's just like randomly looking up one day. He's like, I wonder what Isaiah's doing. And he's like on an island somewhere off of Miami, Florida, and he's traveling the world doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But here's what I want to talk about, because it brought this up in my mind. What kind of magic tricks was Sam Pittman and Kirby Smart and that group pulling to keep that kid out of trouble while he was in Athens?
I have no idea.
And why can't they still do it? Like, if that dude showed up and was doing what he's supposed to do to be able to play at the rate that he did during his time at Georgia. I mean, he played a lot of football at Georgia, and none of these problems really came up until he got to the NFL. I guess this is pre-NIL.
Yes.
That's
so,
true.
but still, it's not pre the dude's nuts. You know, like the dude's obviously crazy. What were they doing to keep that guy under wraps?
I mean, I've heard stories about certain players from my time there, and then just legends of they hound you. There is someone like outside your apartment, outside your, like making sure like you are on class at time, making sure you're going here at time. They even have people that like go downtown and like make sure everything's staying all right. They're like guardian angels to a certain degree. They don't give you that in the NFL. It is, hey, here's multi-million-dollar deal. We expect you to play football. That's not
The
going to
accountability is on you at that point. Like,
Yeah.
it's 100% on you.
So
like whether
that's-
you wake up on time, whether you show up on time, whether you're doing what you're supposed to when you're not at the facility, it's completely on you.
Taylor said he had a photographic memory too. Said they would wake him up in the middle of meetings and be like, "Hey, what do you have on this play?" And he'd immediately give the answer and then fall back asleep. Just so gifted, man. Just pissed it
That
away.
makes me sad.
Just, what was his rap name on SoundCloud?
Something Pandas?
Something Panda. I don't remember. It
What a
was-
goofball, man. I hope I never see him.
I hope he never watches this show.
Yeah, I don't want no smoke.
There has not been glowing things said about him when he.
No.
What if Craig Dangeridge is the best wide receiver in the room? Do you take that as a bad thing? Does
Like,
that
how
scare
good
you?
how good is the best? Is he like
could
900
be-
yards good, or is he just like the best of a bunch of mediocre?
He's the best playmaker you have in that room.
I mean, it means you probably lost a lot of money on the Talon Taylor investment.
Yeah,
That's
so you
the
could take
case.
it that avenue, or you could take it, this guy's just that good.
Yeah, it's either Craig Dandridge is that good or the wide receiver room is not very.
So you
good.
could take it multiple ways.
I'd like to. Hope
I think
it's-
Craig is that good, by the way.
Yeah,
I think every day, every time he's at practice, I feel better and better about being absolutely outrageous, saying, I think there's like a 75% chance this guy might be Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel crazy anymore for saying that at all, based off what we've heard.
Yeah. So just wanted to throw out that possibility because
I'm not saying he's going to win a Heisman.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to be great.
Because I think there might be a world where you look up in the middle of the season, it's like, dang, Craig Dangeridge has been our best wide receiver this year. And that may be a bad thing, but it also may not be a bad thing at all. It may just mean that he turned out to be that good.
What if Buddha wins the backup role? One, what does that do for 2027? And two, what does it mean for the rest of the Ryans? And this is all hypotheticals.
I don't know if it's all that much of a hypothetical.
That's fair.
I think there is a world where if Gunnar got hurt tomorrow, you might be rolling Buddha. You might just put him out there and y'all become a much more heavy like quarterback run football team, and you're willing to get him exposed to contact far more than you are Gunnar, because Gunnar is your future for like this year, your immediate future for national championship successes. But I think there is a potential where if Gunnar can't play for some reason, Buddha is the answer because he is so much more athletic than the rest of the group.
And I mean, it goes back to the discussion we were having about Alabama, where if the race is so close, you got to go with traits. And Ryan Montgomery and Ryan Puglisi are two really good quarterbacks, but I don't think they're gonna run the ball efficiently. I don't think they balance counts like a Hezekiah Melinda would.
Yeah,
do.
it definitely requires a bit of a shift in what you call and how you operate your offense.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Buddha out of camp and spring ball, and basically since he's been there, he's been a good
Yeah,
football
he's been
player.
a great
so.
football player.
Yeah, Hezekiah Melinder is Buddha.
That's his nickname.
That's
by
his nickname. I
Basically,
don't know how he got that.
I think Kirby called him that. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
but I,
explained
again,
why,
don't know-
but
he did.
I think I remember him explaining why, but I can't remember the explanation. Do you have any more?
Yeah, I got one last one.
Okay. What if Georgia struggles in the sack department this season, but you force 10 more turnovers than you did last season? That would put you out just outside the top 20 for last year, to put that in perspective.
Did Georgia have a single peanut punch last year?
Yes,
in
against
Kentucky.
Auburn.
Oh, yeah. Auburn.
Kentucky.
Yeah, CJ Allen had one
out.
against Kentucky. Those
Got
are
to
the only
get
two I
more of
remember,
those.
though.
So
Yeah.
CJ got them both?
Yes, it was
Him
a
or
combination
Raylan.
of
Him and Raylan.
CJ and Raylan.
But I think
That's
it's
got to be what I'm getting at is that's something that I see all over football now. And I don't know if Georgia does it as well as other
and one
schools.
against Ole Miss, the scoop and score.
Okay.
correct.
And I think there was another one against Ole
That
Miss.
wasn't a punch out, though. That was a helmet on ball.
Well, I mean, that's
Here's the thing, though. You're not going to see punch outs for the same reason that you don't see Georgia DBs ever look for the ball, because that's not what they coach. They coach don't miss tackles. You increase punch outs, you increase the likelihood of missed tackles. Now, obviously, if they're corralled, you can do it.
what I say. Like that's when you see Georgia players do it.
I would like to see more strip sacks, more errant throws that lead to interceptions, more tipped passes that lead to turnovers. Like, that's something we haven't seen enough of, and that's something you're more capable of doing. Punching at the ball is great, but if you're missing tackles, I don't want any of that. Neither is Kirby Smart.
I mean, they obviously coach it when you go out to practice. They're like, got to get a punch, got to get a punch.
Yep.
Like, everybody coaches it. I just wonder if they're doing it at a high enough rate. Mm-hmm. Turnovers are a major key.
Yeah, they forced 13 last season.
What was that, bottom end of the conference?
It was towards the bottom end of the country.
Gross. Bad.
So that's my last what if.
Chat saying, what if Jaden Riddell is 65% of Brock Bowers?
I will take that.
Yeah.
Can we get to 75%? Am I asking for too much?
I don't think I mean,
I think from an athletic standpoint, like stuff he can do with the ball in his hand, he's at that. But I don't know if he'll ever be even 70% of what Brock was from a down to down. I know this guy's going to get open and catch the football.
yeah.
I don't know if he's got that
I don't think
wiggle to him.
I don't think there's really anyone that's going to
No tight end that will ever do that. No.
not that level and consistency.
What's your final what if?
What if we get a 200K this year?
I mean, based on what we do in season, it's not really that crazy to think about.
Be pretty sick.
I mean, we hit 100K 2 weeks ago and we're already at 103.
Yeah, I
Not even
mean,
2 weeks ago. It was like a week and a half.
we dang near double our subscriber count typically in the season. At least we have the last 3 years. It almost doubles.
We love us some us, and we know you guys love it too. So make sure you're telling a friend. Make sure you're subscribing if you haven't already. All right, what do y'all want to do next? Do y'all want to do favorite 17s? Do you want to do this Gunnar Stockton narrative talk?
We have
Do you want to do
17.
guys who got to make something happen? What do you want to do?
Let's hit the 17.
All right, we are 17 days away from college football. All right, Georgia football against Tennessee State at a 3:30 kick. You're gonna sweat you know what off. All right, so just get ready for that. Also, if you want to wear a shirt for the whiteout, the shirt I wore during the national hour, that is a shirt for you. It is available in the link in the description today. A little dog mentality for you. All right, favorite number 17. Who is it? I got 4.
Well, my absolute favorite number 17 is Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean is my all-time favorite number 17, to answer that question.
Close second.
There's not a whole lot to choose from.
There's not a lot of 17s in history.
Not too many people have rocked number 17 that I can remember off the top of my head. Like, there's definitely a more prominent one that I'm forgetting right now. My mind immediately goes to Rentavious Wooten, thoe.
The Woot.
Rentavious
man.
Wooten. Like, you want to talk about all-time name list?
Whoa.
Rentavious Wooten.
Whoa.
Who's that?
A fantastic receiver during the Aaron Murray era.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's the one who caught the game-tying touchdown against Tennessee
Yes.
in 2013.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah.
I
Rentavious.
believe he's known as a speed guy. Had a lot of speed to him.
Okay. I don't recall.
It was during the days where you don't remember much about college football, so that kind of
Yeah,
explains
I was
it.
busy playing it, John.
You were busy playing it, so
You know.
we'll let it slide this
D2
time.
legend over here.
But Rentavious Wooten definitely deserves some love. So I wanted to make sure that he got a shout out.
I'm gonna allow you guys to continue to rattle these off and make sure you hit the one that I have at the top of my list.
Ooh. The top of your list, number 17.
Now I love Nakobe. Nakobe's great, but there was one guy that wore 17 that I rocked with.
So this is like back in your childhood, I'm going to assume.
Mm-hmm.
It's back in, okay. Ugh.
Last name's a color?
Perhaps, perchance, per maybe.
Yes. Absolutely.
Blue.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, that was the more prominent name that I was forgetting. for
Hell
some
yeah,
reason.
dude. Greg Blue was that man.
Yeah.
Greg Blue was awesome.
See, it would definitely go Nakobe, Greg Blue. Then it would go probably Rentavious Wooten.
Greg Blue-
Also, if they made if they made a college football video game during his time, Quincy Carter would be goated.
I'm pretty sure they did make a college football video. It just wasn't quality.
Also, I'm being disrespectful again. Davin Bellamy belongs higher up on that list than probably Rentavious
Friend of the
Wooten
show.
does. Yes.
Davin Bell, one of my favorite moments is that strip sack against Notre Dame.
Oh, one of the more iconic moments.
So at that Terry Business School lunch or dinner and luncheon, they call it a luncheon. What do they call it for dinner?
I think it's just a dinner.
Yeah, so we were there, but they weren't serving food. It was just a little meeting for the Terry College of Business. I got this fine little mug out of it. But anyways, Davin was telling or talking about how he hopes that some defensive players ad-lib a little bit more. Just being like, hey, like I know the call is to be disciplined in the run right now, but I got a feeling and I'm gonna go after the quarterback right here. I'm gonna kind of freelance. And Keith Marshall goes, hey, Davin, will you humor us just a little bit? Will you give us an example of your career where you waved Kirby Smart off? Where you were just like, hey, coach, don't worry about it. I know you're calling that, but no. Apparently, in that Notre Dame game, he was supposed to get subbed out the play before he made that strip sack.
I think
And
I've heard this story.
He waved the sub off the field and said, no, I'm staying in, and then has a strip sack against Notre Dame.
Well, he did just have a clip talking about where his position's job is to go close out the game in that situation. So I'm sure in his mind, I got to go close out the game and want it to be me. Also, Dan Jackson, I always envision him in 47. That's always how I envision him.
It's hard to make these lists when your best number was not 17.
Yeah. Now, he definitely played his best in 17.
He did. He got much thinner when he wore 17 too. Like he got trimmed up a little bit.
But yeah, Dan Jackson obviously on this list.
Dan Jackson 47 was my Dan Jackson.
That's iconic.
That's the Dan Jackson I remember.
Everybody knows exactly where they were sitting when Georgia played Clemson in 2021. We were like, who is this white guy back there? This is dude's wearing number 47?
That happened to me in the G-Day game because I don't remember who threw the ball, but Dan Jackson intercepted a big pass. And I'm like, it's like the first quarter. Why we got like walk-ons?
Yeah, what are we doing right now?
Little did I know that would be Georgia football legend Dan Jackson.
Demon Dan.
Yeah.
All we heard this offseason was how great this defense is, and we got a walk-on playing safety for us right now. Yeah, and he a dog.
So,
he a dude.
I don't
Y'all
know.
forgot one.
Who? I mean, if it's Coulter Ginn, he deserves a shout out.
It's Coulter Ginn.
He absolutely
Of course it's
deserves a shout
Coulter
out.
Ginn.
Should
All
have
right,
known better.
so those are favorite players to wear 17. Let's talk favorite moments from those players in 17. My favorite Coulter Ginn moment is anytime he's ever mentioned on this show or in our Discord.
He is a legend.
Because we don't have any other moments.
He's hitting Jackson Muschamp levels.
Oh, he's cleared. He's cleared already.
I don't know. Jackson Muschamp
Dude,
was
Jackson Muschamp had a play that everyone will remember, though. I mean, it was against FSU, gets a first down, dad on the sideline, giving the first down signal.
The forbidden celebration.
Yeah, Muschamp would have got a penalty had that happened this season. That's pretty high as it gets for a guy like Jackson Muschamp.
Your pop's hitting a forbidden celly after you
Black market celly.
after you ran for a first down while beating the number 5 team in the country by 60 points.
Yeah.
Pretty legendary.
That's peak, dude.
That's peak, dude.
It is.
The Nakobe coaching up Channing Tindall will always be legendary. That moment's gotten plenty of shine.
I mean, you want to bet on a sports clip that's going to be posted on your timeline at least once a month.
Yep.
It's going to be Nakobe Dean coaching up Channing Tindall and then him making the play after. It happens every single month.
My favorite Nakobe Dean moment was actually breaking down film with him at Creatures Comforts during G-Day that one time.
Ah, yeah, that was sick.
Had several players.
Chris Smith,
Brandon Boykin.
Brandon Boykin. Did we sit down with Bakari Rambo too?
Did sit
Yes.
down with
We didn't break
Rambo.
down film, but we sat down with Bakari Rambo. We got Nakobe Dean to watch film with, Warren Anderson to watch film
That was
with.
pre-studio.
Yeah.
Hadn't even officially been built yet.
No. We're still hanging out in a garage. I don't even think you guys didn't even have microphones at that
No,
time.
all we had was a text group. That was it.
Long time ago.
Yep. And it's remained just a 3-man operation ever since.
And it will remain that way for the rest of time.
Rest of the time.
Hell yeah.
Ain't nobody else getting a microphone around this place. Everybody thinks they can sniff around and be like, "Oh, I'll do anything. I'll come work for you as such. I'll do it." Yeah, I know what you want, buddy. You want to do what we do. Mm-hmm. I know.
It's a pretty cool job.
They're spoken for.
4 is also too many.
Yeah, 4 is a crowd.
Yeah.
Do you have any other moments from players wearing?
Did y'all mention Dan Jackson's hit on Haynes King?
Yeah, that's like I know everybody wants to talk
legendary.
about the play in the national title game, rightfully so, where he blocks for Keely Ringo to go into the end zone. Like that right there is the definition of who Dan Jackson was as a player.
He's really sports.
Shit.
Yeah, like doing whatever it takes. Like whatever I got to do, coach, I'll do it. I'm
Doesn't
going to get
matter,
back
dude.
up, trot back to the sidelines. I'm good. I don't need a breather. Don't need anything. I'm okay. But it's the Georgia Tech play for me.
Yep.
Every time I rewatch that game, I still can't believe how close Georgia. Like if that play doesn't happen, Georgia Tech wins that game. Like if Dan Jackson does not get that ball out, that game is over.
What a game that was. Legendary.
And then like watching Chaz Chambliss like turn around and be like, "Oh crap, the ball's on the ground."
The fact that ball was on the ground for 3 seconds.
Yeah, and like Chaz is like looking at the tackle like he didn't have the ball. Like where is it? And he just dives on it. Like, gosh, man, insane.
What a game. What a night. So those are all the moments I have from players. I do have some specific moments tied to things tied to the number 17. in
Ooh,
Georgia
I want to hear
football.
these.
Like the 2017 season. The first year where it was it all came together under Kirby Smart. Legendary seasons from Nick Chubb, Sonny Michel, that group of seniors that decided to come back. Davin Bellamy. I'm blanking on some of the other names. Dominic Sanders came back for a senior season there. Lorenzo Carter, like so many legends of that 17 season. When you hear, 17, that's immediately what I first think of with Georgia football, is that how special that year was. And though it did end in heartbreak, that was kind of the first year like, all right, something special is happening under Kirby
Yeah, I mean,
Smart.
it was things that felt they would never happen almost for Georgia fans happened that season. Like making it to Atlanta and winning. Like you'd seen that movie a couple of times, like over the last decade plus, where you get to Atlanta and you get disappointed and you ultimately don't make the playoff. Got the revenge against Auburn in that game, making it into the college football playoff, outscoring an offense and beating Lincoln Riley and Baker Mayfield in that football game to make it to a national title.
I proposed to my wife that day, and
Nice.
she's like, "Do you want to?" I think it was the question of, "Do we want to go out?" And I'm like, "Honey, the Rose Bowl's on." No.
Boy, you watched the best Rose Bowl
No.
maybe ever.
Yeah, it's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
So the answer is no.
man.
What a night.
You got your rock. I'm gonna wash this rock.
Facts.
Another one I have, and this one's weirdly specific. I was doing just some research on it. September 17th, 2022 is the birth of first down MFer from Kirby Smart. Oh. That's when Georgia was playing South Carolina on the road.
That was in 17.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
September 17th.
Oh.
2022 was the year it happened.
Hard stop in the segment right now. We forgot to name another player, and it coincides with a very memorable moment.
What am I forgetting?
There was one player in the Kirby Smart era that wore the number 17, and it is one Eli Wolf.
Oh,
Eli Wolf wore 17,
yes.
and the memorable play is the
2019
strip sack
Florida.
against Tennessee. He just happens to be right there, picks the ball up, and
JY,
runs it in for a
I have
touchdown.
bad news for you. That was Isaac Nada. However,
Oh, yeah, it was Isaac Nada.
Eli Wolf does catch the first down pass from Jake Fromm in the 2019 Florida game.
Yes, he does.
I had Eli Wolf on the show.
Really?
That was an early guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had Eli Wolf on the show, and I remember this because he was big into painting, and I had someone Photoshop him onto Bob Ross's face, and I threw it up on the stream, and I was like, "It's Eli Wolf, U.S. Bob Ross." That's what I thought was quality content back in the day.
What
So,
did Eli Wolf think about the quality
I
content?
think he laughed.
Okay.
I think he had a good chuckle about it, but yeah, we had Eli Wolf on the show.
That's kind of the only reaction you can have. That like you can't just be like, I don't like that.
Just leaves the street. Just leaves.
This interview is over. Like Rampage Jackson. The final one I have for just the number 17. 17 is the amount of points Ole Miss scored against Georgia in 2023 when the Dogs absolutely beat the hell out of them. The reason that game is significant is because it's the last home game that I watched as an undergrad student. It was senior night. So it was a very, very special night for me to be like, wow, all throughout my time as a Georgia Bulldog fan and my career as a student, Never watched them lose. So that was a nice cherry on top to watch Georgia beat the absolute dog water out of a top 10 Ole Miss team at night in Athens. Had a bunch of friends in town. It doesn't get much better than that.
HR didn't have to investigate anybody tonight, but they do need to investigate Buzzball, huh?
Yeah, have you guys seen this abomination?
I wanna
If you're
try
wondering why I have combined Buzzballs and Pop-Tarts
Someone's
in
already
the
done it
same
for you.
sentence, they are collaborating to make Buzzballs flavored drinks with Pop-Tarts. So like a brown sugar cinnamon Buzzball. Horrible. To jail right now.
I'd try it. I would try it.
No, I wouldn't.
You know, I've been sober for about almost 4 years in February from alcohol. And there are certain releases of alcohol beverages where I'm like, dang, I wish I could try that. Buzzball, not one of them.
I've never been inclined
Never-
to try
Yeah,
one of those.
Never thought, but I guarantee you back in my day, I would have hammered them.
This is kind of my rule of thumb now, especially now that I'm no longer freshly 21 or a freshman in college. But when I walk into a gas station and I see your product is stacked up at the front entrance of a gas station, room temperature, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you're selling some absolute trash. And Buzzballs is constantly right at the front of every gas station I walk in at room temperature with all the flavors. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm ever going to be that down bad to try one of those. I think I'm good on that one.
Buzzball and Fireball. Dude.
Yeah, like Fireball's always at the counter.
Who's the intended market for a Pop-Tart combo with
It's college
Buzzball?
students. 100% college
students.
Like you're telling me college students are like someone's going to walk into a liquor store, see brown sugar cinnamon Buzzball and be like, oh, we're definitely getting these for the pregame. Like that's 100% happening. It's definitely happening.
College students do love just making wild flavors with liquor and being like, look at this.
This is amazing.
Speaking of liquor, have you seen the Crown Royal bags?
Oh, I want one.
You want one?
I might have some inside info to get one tomorrow, so I think I'm good.
Don't tell the chat. They'll buy them out.
Yep. I think I'm going to be receiving one.
Buddy,
soon.
College Brooks would have been absolutely hammering those things.
Yeah, dude, the bags are nice. A nice red Georgia bag with Crown Royal.
I used to keep all my Crown Royal bags.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Hopeful that one day there was this trend when I was in college where people would turn those Crown Royal bags into like shorts.
Ooh.
They would like stitch them together and make them into like a pair of gym shorts.
I'm going to do that.
You should. I don't know if the trend's still rolling, but you can bring it back. You're a trendy guy.
I'll wear some Crown shorts.
Yeah. Oof. Had some rough nights with Crown Royal. Crown Royal Apple came out my sophomore year of college, and it's about all I drank for about 2 years straight. I was a Crown Apple and Sprite guy.
Yeah, dude. It's
And
good
boy,
stuff.
could I pound them.
I'm Peach Crown over Apple Crown.
Yeah, I don't think Peach Crown was a thing at the time. My freshman year was, what's that cinnamon tasting alcohol? Tastes like Big
Fireball?
Red. Yeah. Fireball first came out when I was a freshman in college, and one bad night off Fireball keep you off Fireball the rest of your life.
Any alcohol where you could, no matter where you are, no matter what group you're around, any alcohol where you name it and you just get a loud ugh from everybody. Everybody has a Fireball story, I feel like. Like, stay away from those, man. Everybody has
It
one.
just tastes so gross.
Fireball and a Jaeger were the two no-goes for me.
Yeah, see, Jaeger's the
after a
same way.
while.
It's like,
No thanks.
That's the thing. Nope, can't have it.
I'm good.
Can't have it at all. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. We will be back tomorrow. We'll be down a man. Hopefully, we can get a guest appearance from someone here in the studio. Booking that guy's been like nailing pinning a tail on a donkey lately. But maybe we'll get him. Hopefully, we are. He's one of the finest media guys in the Georgia space. Little spoiler alert there for you. But hey, we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I love you. Most importantly, Jesus loves you. We'll see you next time.